morning, everyone. How's it going? All right, can you guys hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. That's why I didn't have my headsets on. There we go. Can someone say something?
Yes, good morning.
Oh, there you go. Hi. There you go. I was like, I can't hear you. Of course I did not have my headsets on. There we go. Sometimes you forget they become part of my head. Good morning.
If a man who is susceptible to beauty is filled with beauty.
I think so. I'm turning the
Morning,
sound
Diana.
off. Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Yoo-hoo.
Hey there. Wow. I'm hearing some background like talking or radio or okay. Audrey, looks like there's some happening in the sound behind you, radio or someone talking. So I've muted you a couple of times. Okay, Audrey, I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
sorry
think
about
it's-
that.
No, I think it's coming from you. I'm not sure, but because your
Okay.
thing lights up. So hi, everyone. All
Hi.
right. Nice to see you. Hey, guys, if you can go over to the chat and give a little hello, just to show me that you're here. I mean, I know I can see you, but that helps. I need to connect with my other computer here.
For some reason, my chat isn't working.
As in, you don't see it at all, or
I see it and I see the messages, the number, but when I click on it, I don't get a window where I can tell you what I need to tell you.
huh. Can you just, you don't need, like, are you seeing seeing the word that people are writing? Because you can just write
No.
in there.
I just see the word chat and the number, 6 people.
Huh.
But anyway,
I think you click on the 6.
oh, okay.
I tried that.
Okay.
Well, I think
Got
I
it.
did.
Thank you.
Did that work?
Thank you. Yeah,
Oh, I'm
that's
so glad. I guess
that's
things
good.
show up a bit differently for me. Thank you for helping out. I didn't notice who did the helping, but
Me, Sarah.
me. Oh, there you go, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on my other computer here where I demo the Ventura stuff, and I still had, I forgot I had this computer in my briefcase from when I take it to school for my Wednesdays, and I was looking for it desperately, which is why I'm a tad a couple of minutes late. It's there we go. All right, and now I have it connected. All right. So yeah, someone cleaned up and my briefcase was nowhere to be found.
Oh,
And now I have it. So how's it? There we go. All right. So how did it work this week? What did you guys discover or not discover? If you have any like specific questions that you want to let me know or share with me before we jump in. And if nothing big or burning is there, then we shall just jump in.
mhm.
Nothing? All's good?
I
Okay.
did go, Diane, I did go online
Yeah.
and I tried to find out how to upload photos to the cloud, but I didn't quite understand any of it. So I thought I'd wait
Oh.
until you teach us.
Yeah, the the whole conversation about the cloud or not photos, where they go, all that is
Yeah.
definitely something I'm going to spend quite a bit of time, because it's got a lot of intricacies, right? When you read sometimes the instructions are really clear as far as what Adobe tells you, or not Adobe, Apple tells you, but other times they just give you the one option, one path. And then there's so many variables, right? So we're going to come upon a lot of those variables today as we talk about where actually our photos are. So last week, I kept saying, oh, this is in your phone and this is in your computer. And for some of you, that might have been so. But for some of you, you might have been looking at me like, nope, what I have on my phone and what I have on my computer don't seem to be the same thing. So that's part of what I want us to talk about today. But before we go there, I wanted to talk a little bit also about some other key things that I need us to turn on as a feature in our Mac computer Photos app, so that we have some more information right now to start with, and then I'll jump into where are all these photos, who has them, who doesn't, do they transfer from one side to the other or not, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to share my screen with you. It doesn't matter which version. This is the same for no matter which computer version you have. Let me let some more people in who are jumping in right now. Here we go.
Mhm.
All right, so hold on, another person to let in. Okay, so here I'm sharing my screen with you guys, and there's last week when I was sharing the screen with you, I had file names and stuff down here, and I noticed that I hadn't told you how to turn that on. So I turned that off again, and now I want to have you guys turn it on for yourselves. So here we go. By the way, I notice some people are dropping in as I speak. I'm not like saying good morning anymore. I'm just continuing, but hi everyone. Nice to see you guys. And I'm sharing from my my older version. Remember when I meant version, I meant the operating system where I had you guys distinguish if you were in Ventura, shows you some things, and then everything older shows you things a little bit differently. It's not a huge difference. Actually, in this class, when I teach the Wednesday class where I'm teaching about the Mac, there's a lot of differences here. There's a couple of differences that I've found, in particular with the duplicates, but for the most part, things look the same. If you have an older operating system, like from High Sierra, then things look quite different. So if you don't see something that I'm showing you on yours, it could be, I just need to point it out, or it could be that your computer just doesn't have that, but don't make that assumption, right? That, oh, my computer doesn't have that. Sometimes it's just hidden or something. So do ask me so that I can help you find this feature or not. Because for the most part, Photos is very similar, no matter what operating system you should have. So probably it's because you can't find it, or the window is smaller, the window is big or something like that if you don't see it on yours. Okay. All right, so here I have the photos. The main thing I want to say, I'm showing the Mac right now. I know some of you guys are exclusively on an iPad or something like that, but I do want to say that more than I do have my iPad connected today. It'll be a little bit harder to share. Actually, I need to connect it to this other computer for whenever I want to share. Give me a second. I have it. I'm going to share that one on the other computer. It's a little bit harder to share my iPad with you guys because that one's connected to my personal account, and I sometimes show it for some features, but I prefer to keep showing you with the phone and with my computers. But the biggest thing I have here that will make an initial difference in how I'm seeing the photos is, remember whether this button is turned on or off. Like visually that impacts us. Also, what I'm going to show you right now is only going to work if you see things this way, where you see if landscape and portrait photos are being taken, versus this way, where you just see little squares. Because if you see them this way, there's no way to see the actual file names under each one of these, or a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to teach you. So I'm going to recommend for now, click on this little guy, and I don't know what to call it, the button that changes the format. I mean, it doesn't have a name. The one that lets us see everything as a nice square grid, or the one that lets us see the actual full frame of my photo. So without having a quick name for that button, that's what it does. Because now I want you guys to turn on some features. Now, if you've done this before with me, if you've taken a class like this before, you all might already have them on, in which case just hang out a minute. But hold on. I need to, ask me your question. I need to reshare my screen so you see the whole
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I'm seeing this on my computer, right? So what happens if I get onto Zoom on my iPhone and have it also on the computer?
Oh, yeah. So by the way, is anyone today here new to the class that didn't make it last Monday?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, got it. The fact that you asked that question is then I went, oh, that's that's true, but then I remembered there might be someone else, because I explained that all last week. Let me just say something. It's not just about you, Sarah, but it triggers the thought. Anytime you miss a class, please watch the class recording. The class recording is there for you to catch up. Okay. So, so again, Sarah, I'm not just, you triggered that thought. If you guys missed something, I am more than happy to explain things again. What I don't
Okay,
want
no.
is for you not to like
Yeah.
have any idea. So here's the thing. When I share my screen, your screen gets filled up, like you're saying. Now you can't see your stuff, right?
Right.
So if you have a phone, it's going to be kind of tiny to see what I'm doing, but you could use that as your second screen. If you have an iPad, that's probably better because it's bigger. Or of course, if you have a second computer or device somewhere in your house, but not that many people hang out with tons of computers in their house. So the plan B is right now, go and hit your escape key from your keyboard. And first of all, that'll help your screen, your
Got it, yeah.
screen kind of disconnect. And now grab the corner of that, move it sideways so that you see me on half your screen.
Mhm.
And then you work on the other half. Got it?
Right. Mhm.
All right. So here, what I want everyone to do right now is to head up to this view button at the very top. And that's why I had to share my entire screen, because when I share the shorter screen, you only see this part, right? So I had to share the entire screen, which makes things look even smaller. But I just wanted to point you that a lot of the times I'm going to say, go up to the menu that's at the top next to the apple, I'm going to say, and I mean this menu right there, right? That's what I mean.
Your
And then-
menu, your menu?
Well, you do this on your own.
Oh, I
right?
see.
Right now
Got
I'm
it.
showing
Okay.
it, but go
Yeah.
to your own. Then head up to the view menu and down to metadata. Okay, now this is everyone's doing this. I spoke for a minute to Sarah, but now this is for everyone, guys. Okay, head up to view metadata. And then when you come over here, you'll see these words, titles, keywords, edited. And by default, if you haven't done this before, the only two check marks would be under file type and favorite. That's the only that come on, exist when the computer is automatic.
Oh, yeah.
So what I need you guys to do is to click on each one of the ones that does not have a check mark. So I'm going to click on titles right now. As soon as I click on titles, see how suddenly the titles of my photos appear? But I have to go back, go to metadata again, and then click on the next one called keywords. And then I have to go back. Each time it doesn't let me do them all at a time, and then go and turn on edited. See that? So keep going back, view, metadata, referenced, view, metadata, location. So once you turn all that stuff on, so if I go there right now, every single one of them has a check mark. That's my goal. Once you do that, then you're going to start seeing little icons and things appear on top of your photos, depending on what has or hasn't been done to them. A lot of you guys haven't done anything to yours, so all you have is just this little one that's location. Some of you have location. Remember last week I said some of you tell you the place they're from, others don't. And that's an example. This one does not have that little pin, others do. Okay, so turn all of those things on. And I'm going to reshare so that you now see only this bit of it, because I don't need you to see the whole screen anymore. That way it's a bit easier to demo. And I'm going to make my window a bit smaller. That way it's easier for you to see only half my screen, half your screen with me, instead of filling your screen. Okay. All right. So once that is working for you, and I'm going to ask me if it's not working or something like that. I'm actually turning them on the second computer now, so that they are now on in everything.
I'm lost.
Okay. All right. Who said that? Who
Me,
said they're on? Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
I got onto, on my own screen, and I had to open up a second window, for that. And then I clicked on the library,
Yeah.
and I'm under photos in my computer. And then I have, you said something about file and edit.
Well,
I'm not sure
wait,
this
if
is-
you are seeing your photos app, right? Are you,
Yeah.
as your Photos app is open, then head up to the very top of your entire display and you'll see, let me share again, the entire window here,
Mm.
because I can't, when I'm showing you this, you don't see it. Head up to the top of your screen. And by the way, this is important. If you are clicking on your Photos app like this, you should see the word Photos up there. If instead you've clicked maybe on the desktop, like right now I'm doing,
Oh, shoot.
see how it says Finder? Or if I'm clicking on Zoom, like if you maybe have Zoom turned on, it might say Zoom. So make sure to be clicking on this box so that the one that has your photos, once you do that, then it should say Photos up there. From there, you can see File, Edit, Image, View, and that's the view we want. Because
Yeah.
if you're clicking here on the Finder window, Finder also has a view, but that's not the one we want. So the important thing is that it should say Photos next to the apple. So click on your Photos app. It will say Photos next to the apple. And now go to that view and
Oh, I
that
see.
metadata. And then you can turn these on by just choosing each one at a time. Okay, so now everyone, go to the, remember that I'm going to stop my share so people can see this very clearly. Remember that when I want to make sure the class is ready to move on, I want you guys to give me a yes or a no or stuff like that. I see there's a hand up there, Irma. I'll ask you in a second, but for everyone else, I want you to go find your reactions button where you get to say yes or no with the green or the red check mark, and tell me yes if you've turned on all of those metadata features and it's done. Then give me a yes. If you can't find it or you're having some trouble, give me a no. Meanwhile, Irma, yeah.
Okay, my question is with regard to that little square sort of box in the corner.
Mhm.
Once I did all those check marks, it's sort of reverted to just like a minus sign. I don't know why it's gone. That's all.
This,
You know, oh, I can't. On when we first went on, you said go
Uh-huh.
into the square box and click something. I don't remember what we clicked, honestly.
okay, this one, as I said, that notice when this can be, you click and it turns one way, you click and it turns another way, right? The different aspect
Right,
ratio.
that box, that's
all.
what I'm talking
So
about.
when I have it in that mode, see how I don't see the file names? Like no matter that I turn them
Right.
on, I only see, yes, the little markings on top of each photo that I do see, but I don't see the file names anymore. So if
Right.
you are in this mode where you see the actual shape of the photo, that's got enough white space to show you the file names.
Mm.
Right, I
that
understood
make
what
sense?
it did, but I'm saying that once I did
That turned into a minus, you're saying?
yeah, I don't
Uh,
have that little box anymore. I just have the
Do you want to share your
Oh.
screen? Because sometimes I just need to see what's
Right.
happening to know it. Since it hasn't happened to me, I just need to first see it.
you're gonna have to run that through me again because
Yeah,
I've
no,
never done
that's
it.
fine. That's fine. And remember last week, I asked everyone who had never done this to come early, and I practiced sharing screens with people. But those of you who have never shared or don't remember how to share, I can walk you through it. All right. So don't worry. Don't ever hesitate to share just because I ask you to share and you might not remember how. I'll just walk you through
Okay.
it. Okay. All right. So Irma, do you see the big green share screen button
Oh, right, yeah.
on your, okay, it's more steps than that, right? But first click on that one. Once you've clicked on that one, let me know.
Yep,
Okay. So the next window you see on the bottom right, you see a button that says share that's blue with white letters.
correct.
Click on that one.
Okay, help.
And now it says open system preferences.
Exactly. So for those of you who've never done it, you'll get her message, right? And then this is the one time and only. Other than that, you don't need that. You'll just be done. Oh,
Use the slider button on Zoom where it
yeah.
says Zoom.
But you need to unlock first. Okay. So first you probably need to type your password in there to unlock. And then
Which password are they asking for? My desktop?
your computer. Yeah. The one that you turn it on to unlock it. Mhm. And then after that,
Hit unlock.
hit that little slider. And once that slider is flipped to be colorful, that means you've
I've
changed
got
it.
something else came up first. It says Zoom
Tell me.
may not be able to record the contents of your screen.
That's okay.
so it
That's
is-
okay.
So
That's all right.
So what
Just,
do I,
it'll say now or later, say later.
okay. And it's on.
Okay, now go back to do the green share screen button.
Okay, I could close that window, I presume, share screen
Yeah.
button.
mhm. Share
Okay.
Then do the share screen button again, and now go to that little button that says share that's blue on the right.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So
I-
you guys, once you do that she just did, you won't have to do it again. Next time Irma tries to share, it'll just do an immediate share, okay? So, just so you guys know, if you have a Mac, which if you're in this class, 90%, 99% of you have a Mac, then I'll walk you through that little step, and then after that, it's quick. All right. So, okay, I see what's happening to you, Irma.
Mhm.
So guys, on the left side, she has photos, and then on the right side, we're seeing just the background that's on her screen. She's seeing Zoom. So what's happening is that your photos window is too small. You've lost all of your sidebar and everything. So you need to actually make that window wider. Yeah. As soon as you make it wider, now you have your sidebar, which you need. And you probably need to make it a little bit wider even to see that box. What operating system are you on? Nope, it's not making a difference.
It's not making a difference.
So what operating system are you on?
Ventura.
Okay,
So will I get it back or do I not need it back?
I have never seen it disappear. So I'm trying to look on my screen to see what other way. Usually if there's a button, there's a different way to do it. I'm not, that minus and plus is just makes things bigger or smaller. So that's not the one I was asking. You know how you said you clicked on a minus, because
Right.
that just makes your little thumbnails there appear bigger or smaller. So go
Right.
back to that minus, but it's not a feature of that's not the feature I was talking about. You are
Right.
missing the button that I was talking about. When you do minus or plus, all you do is make the photos bigger or smaller. There's another little icon right there that changes the ratio. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to see where else we can turn it on. Usually there's a different place to turn things on, and I've not.
I'm not in library. Would that make a difference? I'm in my
I don't-
albums. Let
Yeah,
me
I don't
look.
think so, but try.
No.
Yeah, no, that's just.
What
I
does
don't
this
think-
do?
So you're doing this all through your photos. You don't, your photo icon, you click on and then you go and do all the stuff to arrange changing it. Is that correct?
Yes.
I have no idea. It just disappeared.
Okay, I'm looking.
I did
So
have
but you
it,
did
because
have
I
it,
did
huh?
click it in when you said to.
Okay, I'm trying to, oh, there, I see it. I found where to put it. Okay, go back to view. I found it. I was looking for it. Go back to view, up at the
View?
top.
Oh,
At the top, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, click on that. Okay, and see right above the metadata,
Uh-huh.
it says show.
Thumbnail, show photo grid.
Yeah. And mine is turned on in Ventura that I can switch from square photo grid to photo grid, but yours
Is not.
isn't turned on. Why don't you just, I don't know, but why don't you just restart your photos program to see? Because right there under the word projects, where it says square photo grid, or that in mine is grayed out and I'm able to turn it on or off, but in yours it isn't. So at this point, it at least seems like a glitch. So no, don't
do that.
other stuff you do is messing it up. So go back up. Yeah, go to hit library. Scroll
library?
all the way up so that you can hit the library. Yeah, click on library, stay there. And now at the very top middle, click on the word all photos. You kind of went to a whole different, go to the middle now. Middle, into the photos, onto the sunflowers. Put your mouse over the sunflowers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and now above that you have years, month, days, photos. Go to all photos.
Mm-hmm.
Above, go up where
Oh,
you
I
see.
see it. The
Yeah,
toolbar
yeah.
thing is in the.
Yeah,
what do
go
you
to
want me hit?
all photos, the farthest to the right.
How am I gonna move this? I've got
Um,
the bar with.
yeah, grab that bar from the black point and you can move it out of the way.
Okay, thank you. You
Okay.
want me to hit all
Okay, and
photos?
all photos. Okay,
Oh, it came back.
there it is. Okay, so now you're in the all
Thank
photos. spot.
you.
Oh,
You're
great,
welcome.
great.
Okay,
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
stop your share. There
I
we go.
think- I
So
think
now,
I've got it.
stop my
I'm
share.
not sure.
All
Okay.
right, so,
Stop share. How do
Stop share. I already stopped your share. All
Okay.
right. So now let me see. Molly, because everyone else seems to have given me a yes. So that means that you
Well,
were able
no,
to find it. Okay,
I
hold
said
on.
no,
Hold on, Sarah.
Yep.
It's great that you're speaking up.
but
I will.
okay, do you want hand gestures? Okay.
One of the things that you missed out from the first day is that when you have a question, like some things you just need to speak up and say, that's fine, everyone can do that. But sometimes
Okay.
what you need to do, you know how Irma raised her hand, and so I
Yeah.
asked her. So I'm seeing that Molly needs help because she said no. So you need to go to the emojis and either say yes or no when I can see that it's not working, or raise your
Got it.
hand if you have a question. That way we
Okay.
can all kind of continue. So do you know where the reactions are to do
Yeah,
that?
I put a reaction. I
Yeah.
put my hand up, but I.
Yeah,
guess-
actually, you probably clicked on one of the top row. That's the clapping or the thumbs. Those disappear. It's the bottom one that
Yeah,
says
no,
raise
I-
hand.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did that.
all right,
bottom
so,
one.
all right, so when you raise your hand, it doesn't go down until you click it again. So you probably clicked it again and it went down, right? So leave it on, just try it. Let me see if
Oh,
your hand
okay.
turns on, turn it on.
Hold
And
on.
then I'll see your hand up, and then I'll know that you have a question, and then I'll help other people until I get to
Got it.
whoever's
Yes.
in row.
Well, I click on, and it says recognize hand gestures, and then I click on that and nothing happens.
No, I don't need you to recognize hand gestures. I need you to go to reactions and just click on raise hand. The
Oh,
word button that says raise hand. I think recognize
oh,
hand
I
just.
see. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you.
So can you raise your hand? There
Yeah.
we go. Good.
Okay.
So now leave that there. I'll help you when
Okay,
I'm
fine.
done with Molly. Okay.
Yep. Thank you for helping me with the protocol.
You're welcome. All right, Molly, tell me what's up.
Sharon, I think let me get back. It keeps on going back to Zoom. Okay.
Mhm.
I think I did it. Press on metadata, right?
Yeah.
And then the back to view, and then I press photos, and then metadata, and then press on view, and then projects, press on view, and metadata. Is that right?
Yeah, so go
keep
view
on trying
metadata, and then after you're done with metadata, you need to go and click on each one of the words, titles, keywords, edited one at a time, so that you end up with them all check marked. If you need a hand, do you want to share your screen?
I'll share
or-
my screen. I'll share my.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, gee.
All right. No, don't click from there. You're gonna close it. You closed it.
No, I'll go back in photos. That thing keeps on coming up.
That was
I don't know
photos,
how
yeah.
to Get rid of
So,
it. So I can
that's
share my
that's
screen.
photos. So go ahead and go all the way. I see the problem. First of all,
Yeah,
first of all, you're in the days feature. You're in the library on the left, but up on top you're seeing days.
yes,
So go to the middle. Go to the middle
yeah,
with your mouse on top of the word that says Saturday, like to the middle of your photo screen, like on top of that word that says Saturday, like to the photos. Put your mouse over the photos area, like to the right. Keep moving to the right, like 3 inches. 3 inches to the right with your mouse.
yeah, photos.
Head on top of that barcode, like the photograph of your barcode that you see. You're
Oh,
showing.
oh.
Yeah, right there. Okay. Now move up to the top of that and you'll see the word days. The top. Yeah, yeah. So switch that to all photos.
All photos.
There
Oh,
you go.
oh,
Okay. Now
yes.
stay where it said all photos. Don't go far. Stay where it says all photos. Go back to the place that you changed to all photos. Put your mouse over there again.
Photos. Okay.
You just clicked from date to all photos. Go
All
back to that
photos.
same area.
Oh, the same. This is.
Yes, there. Okay. Put your mouse over the word all photos, because then I can direct you where to go. So there.
All
Yeah.
photos.
There. Okay. Now leave it in all photos.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
now move, stay there and move your mouse to the left. Put your
To the
mouse
left.
put your mouse over the all photos. Molly. Yeah, there. Now move your mouse to the left until you touch that minus and plus. Keep going to the left. It's those icons up there. Yeah, and then one left. That one. Click on that one. Ah, you passed it. That one. Click on that. Click. There we go. That's when it shifts.
Yeah.
Click on it again. Click on it again. See how your photos go from being in a grid? Click
Yeah.
on it again. Click on it one more time and see how now they
Mhm.
take a
Yes,
lot of white space between them, right? So
yes.
now click on it one time to leave the white space between them and leave it there. Yep, that's the mode we want. Now go up to the top of your screen to the word view.
Yes,
Right
view.
there. Good. Click
Yes.
on view.
Yes,
Go all the way down to metadata.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Two more. Keep going
Yeah.
down, up and down, down, down. Metadata. There it is.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you passed it.
yeah.
Now go to the right and you're missing the titles. So go over to the right and
There
click
it
on the word
is.
title. There it is.
There it is.
You turn the rest on. Perfect. You're ready to go. At least you are in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
spot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
I got it.
Perfect.
I
You're
love it.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
Ah.
All right, guys.
Thank you for your patience. You're
That's
an angel.
all
Oh,
right.
you're a
So,
dear.
Anna, I still don't see if you got it yes or no because I don't have a yes or no for you. So give me a yes or no. Same with Minnie. Other than that, yes, Sarah, what's your question?
Oh, I got it thanks to the shared screen on this, but
There you
I
go.
still don't know how to do shared screens.
When it comes term that I need you to share screen, I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, okay, great. But now you can rename these files too, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot you can do now, but you
Mhm.
first needed to see them. So right now,
Yeah,
all I
yeah.
did was show them.
Yeah.
And now we're going to move on with figuring out what we can do with that information. Okay.
Got it.
So, and again, there's a lot that I already showed people last week. So when this class is over, Sarah, please watch the recording.
Oh,
of
I did
the first.
watch.
Oh,
some-
okay. All right. Let me see. Thank you. I see some people had written some things in the chat, but I was busy helping people, so I didn't see. So let me see. Let me read the chat for a second because I hadn't been able to pay attention to it. Okay. Mary, is it still happening that they only show up when you hover over them? Mary's saying that the file names only show up when you hover over them. Is that still so?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, yes. It's not the end of the world. I just wondered if there was some way to change that. If
Yeah,
you're
I don't remember it doing that, but hi, Sarah, my mind has been so long ago that I don't remember that feature. But as long as it shows up, I guess it's
Yeah.
okay. But
Okay.
I didn't. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the rest of the messages are. That's it. That's the only other question I had. Okay. Let me see. I need to lower my own hand. I see. Sarah, is that you raise your hand again? Is it a new question?
No,
or-
no, that's the old one. I
All
forgot.
right.
to turn-
Good. I'll lower it down then. All right. So Minnie, yes. I can't hear you. Your sound is off. Minnie, unmute yourself. You're still muted. I can't hear you, Minnie. So anything you're saying, I can't hear. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay,
There we go.
I've lost my sidebar again.
Okay. You probably have your window a bit too thin. Remember how one of you guys had that when you first shared? You need to widen it up a little bit. As soon as you widen it up, the sidebar will appear. Did it work?
Yeah, but it still doesn't come back.
Okay, I'm trying to see if there's something else you might have hidden. So down, I'm seeing if the view, there's a way to turn the sidebar off that you might have turned it off, but I don't see a way to turn it off. Do you want to share your screen then? Because I need to see your screen to see how to help
How do I
you
do
fix it.
that?
All right. Go to the
Oh,
share screen button. It has a big, it's green. Down where you have the reactions and the buttons, you'll see one that says share screen. Once you click on that one, let me know, and then I'll tell you what else to expect.
no, I don't have a share screen.
Well, you raised your hand, right? So I know that you know where those things are. Like go
Yes.
to the same place where you raised your hand. And now if you go to the left, there should be a green one next to the chat. There's one that says share screen. You don't see it at all?
No.
Read to me what you see in the bottom, the mute, unmute,
I
what comes
see
next?
It starts with mute, stop video, reactions, apps, whiteboards, more.
Oh, then go under more. Click on more, and then on the more, you should see the share screen. When the window is too small,
Okay.
they all hide under more. Did you see it now?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
oh,
There you go.
now you're gone.
All right, so now I see your alpha. Yeah, it does look like it's pretty thin. Go ahead and try to make it wider. Go put your mouse on the edge of your all photos and see if you can keep stretching it to the left. To the
Anna, I
photos.
think you must leave me. I'm lost now. I've lost
Yeah,
you.
that's fine. So there you are. Now your mouse is on top of your photos, right? So make one click, just single click right now so that your program becomes the focus. There we go. See, now it's red. Now go to the edge, to the left edge of this whole window there. And now click and drag it a bit to the left. Keep dragging to the left. There you go. Your sidebar appeared. Okay. It just,
Thank
there's
you.
this little trigger, another extra inch or two, and boom, suddenly it appears. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good. Stop your share. You guys see how sometimes a question will take forever to figure out what's wrong. And the moment I see what you're doing, boom, I can help you. So again, thank you for being willing to share. And remember, that's the fastest way for me to help you when I can't understand automatically what to do because I need to see it. So please never hesitate, okay, to ask. All right, cool. So now I'm seeing mainly green check marks, which means that everyone has turned on all of their metadata. So I'm going to clear your feedback and now we'll keep going. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now. Once your metadata is turned on, here we go. Now, what do we do with this metadata and why does it matter or not? Remember that what was happening there with Molly, that she was seeing this by days or by months or by years, means that what you're seeing here changes all the time. So make sure right now that for this part of the class, you are in library on the left, and here you're in all photos. Now, if the window is wider, there, the all photos days, month, or years turns into like a bar, okay? Instead of a little slider. So you could see it this way, or if your window is smaller, you could see it this way, but it's the same thing, okay? It just adapts to the size of your screen. All right. So one thing I showed you last week, thank you, is very important based on having turned all this metadata on. What's the purpose or what's the point of this metadata? Well, first of all, we already can see on some of these, you might, as I said, see only, I'm trying to look for one that's got a dark enough area that you can recognize it. So it's not always so visible. But for example, if this is too small for you guys to see the details, now maybe you can go a little bit bigger over there, right? You go a little bit bigger, you might see these little icons that are showing up there. And I did that with this little minus and plus right there, just so that you can see these icons. Okay, so here's one that when I hover over it, I see file name here, little heart over there, and little icon that's called the location icon, meaning that one does have information about where it was photographed, versus this one doesn't have that icon there. You see that? Nor this one. So there's no way to know where this one was photographed, but this one there is. So this is just information, and that kind of information is part of the metadata. It's information that comes with a photo that the camera registered. So if you took the photo and your system, the camera allowed for location, we kind of talked about this last week. Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's up to you to make sure that your camera settings have a location setting, then you would see that. This, on the other hand, is a photo that I received by text that someone sent me. And you can send things in a way that you keep the metadata, and you can send things in a way that you don't. And in this case, it didn't. So this one, I have no metadata for it. Okay, so now, what if I want to see that metadata in a different way? That's when last week I showed you that little info button right there. If I click on that info button, then, and let me move it over here, this info button for this window, for this photo, is showing me that yes, I have a location of where this photo was taken. In fact, it was taken in Parma Park. If I click on this one, see how the map disappeared because it doesn't have a location. But without even having to have our info window, I already knew that this one would have a map and this one would not. Does that make sense? Because I didn't need this window open to tell me that because this little icon showed me that. Got it? So this is there only because I turned on the metadata where I wanted to find location, that one there. Now don't do this again, because if I go and choose this and let go, I turn that off. So don't, this one, once you've turned them on, leave them on because you don't want to keep turning them off. It was just showing you why this is suddenly appearing and so on and so forth. So that was the location tab. So now you can look at your photos and go, oh yeah, so where was this one? Oh, this one has a location tab. So if I turn on my info window, I'll see, oh, that was taken in Yosemite. Okay. Now, how else can I use that tag? Is because instead of turning this on and on, if you have a location tag, you can just click on that location tag and that turn on the window, the info window. You see that? Let me show you again. Last week I showed you that you had to turn on from here, the info window, on, off by clicking. Fine. But if you have a tag, all you need to do is click that little tag and that one, just click and boom. See how the info window got turned on? Because it's now showing me. And if I want to know something, I click on that and it tells me what I'm supposed to see. Did that work for you guys? Clicking on the location tag to see the info. So I'm going to click on this location tag there. Oh, that was taken in Wilshire Boulevard in LA. Did that work for you guys? All right, give me a yes if that is working for you. And then Sarah, I see your hand is up. What's your question? You're muted. Do you need to unmute yourself?
Hi, okay. All right, I understand about getting the higher and lower, size, but I can't seem to get the images, like that little symbol that would give you the location.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and I don't even know what it looks like, but I know that on my camera, I mean, my phone photos are synced with my computer. So, and then
so hold on. I need to change my screen. How you get these here is by making sure that you went to view metadata and have a check mark on all of these. Did you do that?
Well, I have the ones that are, hold on. Okay, forgotten already how to get to metadata. I already did a view. Okay, metadata. I have titles clicked, file type, favorite, and location clicked. Should I click them all on?
Yeah, you need to check. They all should be on.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
if you don't have a check mark by it, you won't see that.
Got it.
Okay, so you need to turn it on, but unfortunately it's one by one by one. It's kind of uncomfortable.
I got that.
Okay.
Okay, super.
Once they're on, you will see that. Okay?
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, let me just say one more thing. There's a notice that appeared like a black band that says a participant has enabled closed captioning. That's perfect. Someone is trying to get closed captioning to get my words. But the rest of you, we don't need to have to see that covering a bit of our screen. You can go to the end of that button to the thing. There's an X and just turn that off so that it doesn't hide part of your screen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just click on that little X so that it goes away. It just means you can do that yourself too. You can go to go to where it says show captions and turn on. The computer hears my words and does its best to write what I am saying underneath.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do a perfect job, but it might work. Sarah, in between when you're having a question, I'm going to mute you. I'm going to ask everyone. The request is to that way because a lot of the sounds that we make just in talking can end up being in the way. So when you have a question, unmute yourself. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, I just my photos, some have location on and some don't.
Yeah.
How do I make sure that next photo I take have location on?
For the most part, if you're it's something you have to change in your camera. It's about the camera app. I believe I shared this last week because Leon had that question. Let me share my, hold on, I need to share my phone. I'm gonna stop this share. And there we go. Okay. I'm 163. Every time I share my phone has to be, there we go. Okay. So when you okay, I'm in my phone now, right? And so where you need to, because the location is registered by the phone. If you have a camera, a DSLR, that kind of thing, you can also register all this information. So, but I can't show every camera in the world. But if you have a DSLR, go to your to a computer manual and find out how to have it's basically the GPS has to be turned on in your phone in your camera to record it. But on the phone, you want to go to your computer, your phone settings. And then in the phone settings, there's a couple of different, by the way, you might be just in the basic here. I'm going to go, this is how the settings start. Okay. And in here, there's a couple of different places, and under privacy and security, right there, one of the choices, privacy and security, right there. One of the choices is the location services. Okay. And then when the location services are turned on, or it lets you know which app is going to be using location services. So that's one place where you need to make sure that this is on. So you see here, my camera has it that while I am using my camera, the location services are turned on. Okay. It's not turned on all the time, but yes, when I open up my camera, the location services are turned on, and it's going to give me the precise location. So your location is used to tag where your photos and videos are taken, which improves photo search and memories, because then you can use it, that information is available. Okay. So did you find that, you guys? Did you all go to your cameras to see whether your location services are turned on or off? Joe, were you able
Thanks.
to do that?
Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
Okay. And by the way, this is exactly the same place where you'd find it in your iPad if you take photos with your iPad. I don't take photos with my iPad, but I know some people do. And if you want the location services to then work, that's how you need to turn it on. Before I unshare my screen, does anyone else have a question from my photo? Let me just say that I'm going to go to my Photos app now in my phone. And last week I had told you that the only way to see the photos here was in this grid mode, right? But I actually learned since then that I was wrong. There is a way to change in your phone if you want to see also the shape change, you know, whether it's sorry, I'm trying to do this on my left hand where my right hand has my mouse here. So up here, first of all, my settings right now are library and photos and all photos. Okay, so I've got, if you're in something else like albums or whatever, everything looks different. So make sure that you've clicked on library here on the left. And then on the choices, I'm in all photos. Okay, same as in our computer. Then go all the way up and you'll see next to the word select, you'll see these little 3 dots that there. If you can click on those 3 dots, there's the aspect ratio. And if you click on that aspect ratio, then your phone also can show you if the photo is landscape or portrait, but most importantly, it shows you the entire photo. Now, you don't always need to have this turned on. The screen is so small, you might not need this, but be aware that you might think the photo is cropped and that you can't see something, but it might not be so. So for example, in this photo here, if I now turn the aspect ratio square again, suddenly I don't see sky above him or feet above him. Since he's kind of centered, it still works out. But some photos might look weird because something's cut off. That I'm trying to find one where it might happen that, see over here, it looks like she's being cut off right there. But if I go up here and change the aspect ratio, that photo, in fact, she's all there. Does that make sense? So if you want to see every little bit of your photo on your phone, you would go to this mode. But usually on your phone, you just kind of want to get general idea. And since it's such a small screen, I kind of leave it in this mode, knowing that if something's cut off, doesn't mean that it's not really there in the photo. Like over here, this isn't a perfect example. This photo here, see how it looks like the person is cut off? Well, if I see it in this position, there you go. It's not cut off. It's a long and thin photo and the person is all there. See that? If I click on the photo, I see that, right? So if I do it in this way, that photo is not long and thin, it's just a little square. So I just wanted to show you that. It's up to you what you want or not, but that's how to change it. Last week I said, this is the only way you see them in the phones. Well, guess what? No, that's where you change that same aspect ratio, which I did not know before. Okay. Audrey, I see your hand is up. Your sound is up. Yeah.
I can't see my icon either. So, I keep looking for things that you're talking about. And so I'm getting lost. And
And on the phone, you can't see this, you mean?
well, I forgot what the question was because then I couldn't find my icon. So let me just hold that question for a while.
Okay, but are you
Please.
talking about on your phone or on your computer, the icon that you can't see?
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine.
I spent so much time trying to catch up that
I
I got
hear you.
lost.
Audrey, I hear
Okay.
you, but can I ask you a favor? Because Audrey is, saying it, and so I'm hearing her, but a lot of you guys might be in exactly the same place as her and you're not saying it. So let me just say that the moment you don't see something that I am showing you, if you wait, 10 minutes for me to pay attention to you, you might have forgotten, right? So certain things like that, you can go ahead and just speak up and say, where is that, for example, right? And then I'll help you. But if you immediately raise your hand, and people raise their hands all the time, I will see you and I will stop and ask you a question, right? Or give me a little red no. And I'm looking at the screen, I'm seeing that you suddenly have a little no, like something is not working. Use these features to tell me. Like if you're showing your video of yourself, I can kind of see your face like you're kind of desperate. But if you're not sharing your video, I can't tell what's happening. So then use these other features, okay, for me to give you a hand. Now, let me just respond not directly to Audrey's question, but to the fact that, yes, sometimes you see things differently than me, which is at first, how come I say, wait, first set your screen identical to mine, or you won't see the same things. And so I'm not sure if this is her issue or not, right? It could be everyone's. That if I say, click first on library, and then make sure you click on all photos, then you will see things like me. Because if you are in a different spot, if you are in, say, years, then those three little dots up there don't appear, right? The one I was talking about. So if I'm telling you, go to this thing and it's not there, it could be that you're not in the same mode that I was in, which was library and then all photos, right? Once you set yourself in this mode, because here's where we manipulate the photos, then you will see select and three little buttons, the three little dots up there. And we're going to use those quite a bit. The other modes are just like specific modes to see specific little pieces and buttons, and like days still shows me that up there. I'm in days now, but as soon as I go to months, it disappears. And as soon as I go into years, it disappears, right? So you can manipulate the photos only under days or all photos, because then you have information. And then if you're in a different one of these, it also doesn't find stuff, okay? So anyway, I'm gonna stop my phone share so I can continue with starting with the computer first, but I just wanted to show you that. Okay, I'm seeing up
Okay,
now that
Diane?
there's I'm seeing a couple hands. Yeah, tell me.
How come I can't see my video anymore on your screen? And I had a picture up.
Yeah, and right now I do see your video. It's just that I'm looking at your ceiling.
But I don't have it. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
You need to move your
Let me
screen a bit.
Okay. Let me just try to
I'm looking
adjust all
at
of this,
your
okay?
ceiling lamp, your computer's pointing a little bit higher up. Now I'm seeing your face. Now,
Okay.
there you go. Now I'm seeing you. Okay.
Well, I don't see me on my screen. Oh, there it is. It's really weird. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
That's
Bye-bye.
fine. All right, Sarah, your hand is up. You're muted.
Sorry.
fine.
What's the benefit of having it in a grid format versus the regular way?
Just that when you have it in a grid format, you can, what do you mean the regular way? Like, do you consider this regular or this?
Well, what I'm
grid?
considering like
Yeah.
regular, the, landscape or portrait.
Got it. For your phone, I would kind of go with grid because it's such a tiny screen that at least that lets us see which photo that I'm about to work on, and it's okay because I know that there's more around it, right? On the computer, since I'm going to teach you to edit and manipulate and organize your photos, I'd rather this mode because you can really see the entire photo and see, oh, well, no, I really did cut this person's head off. I can throw that one off, throw away, and keep the one where I didn't cut the person's head off. Versus if you're in this mode, you can't tell if it's the grid that's cutting it off or if it's your photo. That's one example.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, I get
but
that.
other than that, it's up to you. There's here we can see the file names versus here we can't. So to manipulate our photos, which is what I'm going to teach you doing this photo. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, so everything I'm showing you isn't. Sorry, I didn't start sharing my screen again. So I was trying to make a point that if you're in this mode, you won't know if the photo is good or bad. Like, did I really cut my sister's head half off here? Well, I don't know. If I see it this way, I go, oh no, she's all there. That's one advantage, but also in this mode, we see the metadata that we just turned on. So again, if we're trying to just work with these photos, this is the appropriate place. If we're just trying to show them to someone and just kind of scroll through them, it might be easier to do that because it's kind of a bit more, it kind of looks a bit better at this point. That said, if when you want to see the individual photos, that shows me the whole photo. So anyway, all right. It's a choice. I just show you guys the choices and then I let you guys decide what you prefer. All right. Let me see. Anna had a good question. If will the location appear even if the photo was taken long ago? It's whether the photo, the camera that took the photo had the ability to record location. And I believe photos taken on an iPhone and on an Android, like on a phone, have had that ability for a long time, as long as your settings were turned on to record location. But like photos that you took with your instant cameras or with your DSLRs from a long time ago, that just feature wasn't possible. So if I go to my really old photos, right, I might not have location, but actually this one does seem to have a location feature turned on. So I'm going to click on it and looks like this photo. Oh yeah, so even this photo, which was taken in, here it tells me in 2003, okay, this was taken with a digital camera. That's the first digital camera I had is when my little baby was born. And yeah, it shows the place where I used to live in. So the 2003 photo in a digital camera already had a location setting, but a photo from a camera that didn't have a location setting. Let me see, this one has a location setting and it was taken in a park in Goleta. There we go. Oh, that's looked like that's that park over by that field. I don't remember the name, but yeah, looks like that's where that photo was taken. Okay. So yeah, it depends. It's not about how old it is. And of course, old photos won't have it. But again, as long as it was a digital camera and the camera was recorded, this wasn't a phone, this is actually a Canon, but it was a digital camera that recorded location. And so, yeah, there it is. So, okay. So Irma's good question. Can you sort by location? She's asking. And yes, the sorting by location, the big version of that is what I showed you last week. If you go over here on the left side to the word places, well, there you see things that were, according to certain locations. So that's one way of sorting by location, because now here's all the photos from Death Valley, right? But something that I'm going to go back here to the library. One thing that you can also do is search by location up there. What you can't though is search by location, like you don't have the GPS coordinates that point out to that photo, right? So you might be able to say photos in Death Valley, right, up there. And then you click over there and there are any photos that appeared in Death Valley. But how do you say photos of in Stork Park versus photos in Franceschi Park, right? I don't know. So let me see if I write Stork Park. See, nothing's showing. I don't. What was the name of that park, guys? Remind me that the one that's behind Costco. Gersh Park. Thank you. My husband heard me. So I'm looking at Gersh Park. I think it's written like that, and it doesn't show up. Although I know that was a photo taken in Gersh Park. You know what I'm saying? So it's, yes, on a grand scale, I can say New York, and there's all the photos I took in New York, but not on the small scale, like you can put an address, because it goes by, these things are not by addresses, but by GPS location, right? And so the coordinates that the camera registers make it point to that little pin, but there's no street address that I can make it point to that. Does that make sense what I'm saying, you guys? It's like, yeah, okay. So Minnie, or no, Hjalmar, your hand is up. Let me actually change your name because I need to have you in here.
Okay,
as-
on a iPhone or an iPad, I cannot find at the top of the pictures the little square that says metadata. I absolutely cannot find that.
Okay, so it's actually not on top of the Photos app. It's actually on top of the very top. I'm gonna reshare. Because if your Photos app is on this side of your screen, for example, then you have to go all the way to the other corner, right there next to that apple, and there it'll say Photos, and then you'll see your view, right? So, but the word Photos has to be here, because if I'm in the way clicked on something like here, I'm gonna make a single click. That's my finder. So then it doesn't say Photos. If I clicked on Zoom, or if I have anything else turned on, it'll never say Photos. You need to go back to the Photos area and single click anything
Yeah.
here, so that this is your main program. Then it'll say Photos up there, and that's your view. If you want to share your screen.
Yeah, I know this is on the iPad. Can you still do it?
Oh.
Okay, I'm just trying to follow you on this.
I hear you. No, on the iPad,
Yes.
I do not know. There's no way to, so on the iPad, no, meaning there's no way to turn that metadata feature on, but how you see things, how you see that, let me share my phone again.
Okay.
And
yeah.
no, but hold on. There is
Yeah.
a way. I need to share. I need to change my share. Here we go. So how you see the location data on a phone, say that I click this photo, then I just push up with my finger and there's all the metadata of this photo. Okay. So again, you go to your photos and you choose a photo. You
Yeah.
choose that one. Once it got bigger, I then pull up, like put your finger here and just push up with your finger, like shoof, and there, that's the metadata. And this is telling me that this was taken in the Bandelier National Monument. And if I click on the map, it'll take me to that spot in the map, which is basically in Arizona. So I can go down and that's the spot. Okay.
On the iPhone, if I open one picture and then when I pull up, like you said, then it just gives me the date and it gives me the it just says Apple.
Yeah. So at first it's interesting because depending on whether your camera took a location or not. So if I push up, the first it gives you the date and all that kind of stuff. And then if there's no map there, that means that photo did not have a location turned on.
Oh, okay.
So let me go to one that I know might not have location turned on.
Okay, I got that.
I don't know. I see a photo there from a friend. Let me see if I find it. was it July 2021? So over here. So this photo was sent to me on a phone by a friend. And when I go up to this one, it doesn't have here
Yeah.
any information because this photo did not have location data turned on, nor lens information, nothing. All it has is the date. Okay.
Okay.
So it depends on, got it? It just
Yeah, I
depends
got it.
on.
I understand
the
that.
photo.
Yeah.
All right, no, it's great. Since that's the point for me to make sure that people get that. And remember, if you figured out what I showed him and it works for you, great. If that didn't work for you, then ask me. And in your case, it might be a different reason.
I have one more question. When you first
Yeah.
open it on photo, then when you see all your photos, then you go to the top, and then you're supposed to see that little square that says whatever it is. Like that on my actual computer, I can't find that. If I find all the pictures, my pictures, then I still can't find that little.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
This little guy?
Yes. Maybe maybe it's not on iPad.
On the iPad, it's probably going to be like on, you mean, oh, but I thought you said you couldn't find it on your camera. You can't find it on your iPad?
iPad or iPhone. I can't find it.
Okay, so on the iPad or the iPhone, as I said, it's under the select. It's here, let me share my phone again. So where you change that is, again, you need to be in your all photos mode, and then when you go up to the top right of the iPad or the phone, you'll see the select, and then you'll see a little 3 dots. When you click those 3 dots, that's where you see the choice for the aspect ratio.
Oh yeah, those 3 dots, the 3 dots.
The 3 dots,
three
and then
dots,
that's
yeah.
the aspect ratio,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
then-
the same
then
for
it
the
doesn't-
iPad.
Yeah, I got that, but it doesn't say metadata anywhere, but I can
Oh,
see.
no, the metadata is, you just need to click on a photo and pull up, and that's where you see the metadata of it. There's
Okay.
no way to see the meta. I have not
Yeah.
found, maybe there
Right.
is, because I'm always learning. Maybe there's a way to see the metadata on top
Yeah.
of it, but I have not found the way to see metadata. I think it's too small. I don't know,
Yeah.
but the iPad is not so small. Maybe there's a way to see the
Okay.
metadata on the iPad. I can look into that, but I don't
Okay,
know.
thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Now,
Thank you.
that's so interesting, is this is a photo, this is a little video I took once when I was in an airplane. I was coming back from New York, and I took this, there was lightning that was doing this thing from the top of the clouds that seemed pretty fascinating. And I just took that little video. I had no idea where in the world, because I was flying, this was taken on. So it was kind of cool to do that and discover that we were flying over Missouri, other Butler, Missouri. So I looked at that and I went, oh, look at that. That's where that photo was taken, only I was way up in the air. So I went down, oh, look, I was near Kansas City. That's where the airplane was. I thought that was kind of fun. So that's an example of where was I? And it's the phone telling me where I was versus me knowing where the photo was. I checked on this photo the other day and I thought that it's a video actually, which had the same kind of information. And that's where my plane was the moment that was taken. So that was kind of fun. I just thought I'd share that because it was, that was an example of me not knowing where the photo was taken, and the information in the camera told me. So, okay. Sarah, your hand is up. Let me just say something, Sarah. I need, again, something that we missed that I said to people, I need to see your first and last name. And since I don't have my roster with me, I want to change your name. So can you tell me what's your last name? It says here, Sarah L. I can't hear you.
Lukas.
There we go. Because then
Right.
for roster purposes to know who attended, I need to have.
Right,
first and
right,
last
right.
name.
No problem.
All right, yeah, what's your question?
Yeah, okay, so when I go into my phone, okay, I
Yeah.
mean, I went into the privacy and security, right?
Mhm.
And then I go on, I click on location services, which is on, okay?
Yeah. Mhm.
But it doesn't, it has this thing of like when using it, and it also doesn't give me any other information other than location alerts or share my locations. And I'm a little bit confused about that.
Yeah, that's how to use the phone. I'm not going to teach you how to use the phone. All I'm teaching you is what to do with the camera. That's a whole nother issue that you like share your location if people want to know where you are, that kind of stuff.
No,
I'm not going to
wasn't-
do that.
No, I thought this was for photographs.
No, this location alerts is for any app in your phone when you go into location services, but then you scroll down and these are the apps that use location services. So I sent you guys to check what your
Oh,
camera
I
is doing.
see. Yeah, I
And
see.
then you
go to
can
camera.
tell, yeah, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
camera, you can tell it yes or no or that kind
Yep,
of
I
stuff.
got
right?
it. No
The
problem.
rest is more like how the phone works, and you need to take my Mac classes for me to get into that.
Well, I've
kind of
already
stuff.
signed up for that one too.
All right, cool. Got it. All right. So that's the deal. Now, before I leave the phone, any other questions about the phone, you guys? Okay, so I'm going to shift back to sharing my my computer. And here we go again. All right. So now what the question I have for you guys before I keep going is, how many of you see the same photos on your computer than on your phone? If it's a yes, if you do see it, then give me a green check mark. If nope, your phone seems to have different stuff than your computer, then give me a red no. All right, so I'm seeing about even amounts of green and red.
Where's the red and green? I don't even know where that
Oh,
is.
the same place where you raised your hands, right above that, there's a two choices, the green check mark and the red no. Right above the raise your hand button.
Got it. Okay.
All right. And cool. Now,
Let's see.
okay, Yolanda saying you're seeing them both, but they're very delayed. Okay. I'll talk about that choice. The rest of you guys are just saying yes or no. Leon, I don't have an answer from you. And by the way, Leon, last week you said that your location services were on, but you didn't have, and that you were going to call Apple. So if you're there at all, I see that you're not there though. But when you come back, I want to see what Apple told you. All right. So basically, I'm counting a few more greens than no's. So no is basically your phone and your computer show you different photos, and yes is your phone and your computer show you the same photos. Now that is the conversation I'm going to have today. It's not the most fun. It was much more fun to learn how to use our camera and how to do the basic stuff that we did last week, and there's a lot more that we need to learn about how to do this. But at first, I want to clarify how come some of us are seeing the same stuff and some not. And I have both setups here. I can show you with my iPad the one which does or doesn't, and I can show you here the one that does. But right now, if I were to take a photograph right now with my phone, okay, I'm going to pick up my phone. Actually, I'm going to give an example of this. I'm going to say never, right, on the camera. So I just said never on the camera, right? So now when I go take a picture, because you can turn that feature on or off, I'm going to go take a picture. And this is my screen. This is you guys. This is my computer setup. So I'm going to take this photo right now. So took a picture, right? So I took it at 10:17 a.m. or so is when I took this photo. Now I'm going to take another one here. This is the little light rim. Boom, I took another one. So at around 10:17 a.m. or so, I just took two pictures. If I go to my Photos app here in the phone, down at the very bottom, oh, shoot, I haven't been sharing my phone with you. I'm sorry. Let me do this again. I'm sometimes sharing the wrong thing. Okay, so let me show that again. I went to my camera on my phone to actually take a picture, and I took this this is me, this is you guys, okay? This is what's in front of me. I have 3 screens, as you can see, and I'm photographing you. So I'm gonna take that picture. So now it's like what, 10:17 or something, it's still 10:17. So I just took 2 pictures, okay? So now, after taking these pictures, if I go to my Photos app, there it is. I am seeing these 2. And notice down here, something is already saying syncing those items to the cloud. My phone, I wanted to point it out to you. It just said that. It said syncing those items to the cloud. So these photos just went up to the cloud. Why? Because my phone is turned on and this is very important, my battery is at full power. If my phone, you can change the battery to full power or less power. So if I have it at low battery power, this doesn't work. But notice that it says 481 photos, 39 videos synced to the iCloud. Okay. I'm going to go ahead right now and take another picture. Here's my camera again. I'm going to take one more. I'm going to take that picture. Okay. Now I go to my photos and see there it says syncing one item to the cloud. Do you see that?
Yep.
It's syncing them to the cloud. Now it says 482 photos. So these 4 photos that I just took and they were synced to the cloud. As long as you are in a location that has Wi-Fi. I'm in my house, Wi-Fi is on. My phone is connected to Wi-Fi. Also, my phone is not on low battery power, which by the way, many times to say battery, my phone kind of lives on, I put it on this feature called low battery power. Never mind, if you know about it, you know it. And if you don't, it doesn't matter because that means you don't do it. When your phone is not on Wi-Fi connection or is on low battery power, it doesn't sync the photos, right? So say that I am camping. Sometimes I go camping and I don't have phone services and I take 10,000 photos or whatever. Let's say I take 100 photos. At that point, if I lose my phone, I lose those 100 photos because they never were synced to the cloud yet. Does that make sense? Because I didn't have a chance for them to sync to the cloud. The moment I go into town to the store to buy some food, and if for some reason I connect to Wi-Fi, at that point, my photos get synced to the cloud. So if I then lose my photo in the lake the next day, hey, at least those photos were in the cloud. Now, this is only happening because I am allowing my phone to send its photos to the cloud. That's a choice you can make. I'll show you about this choice later. So those of you who have chosen to have your photos be sent to the cloud, you need to have some more space in the cloud than the free amount of cloud space that the Apple gives you. You need to pay for more space. You need to pay $1 or 99 cents a month, $12 a year to have space in the cloud. Once you fill up that space, you might need to pay $3.99 to have 20 gigabytes of space in the cloud. So that's basically $3 a month. If even that runs out of space, and it's rare, I know very few people who run out of that amount of space, then you have to pay $9.99 a month to have enough space to put all your photos and videos in the cloud, right? So that is the con of this system, right? Between the pros and the cons, the con is that you have to pay to put these, there's a service to put these things in the cloud. The pro side of it is that if your phone falls, dies, gets lost, crashes, all these precious memories and photos won't be lost. It's like suddenly all the negatives of your photos of all your life, when you have a fire, one of the things that people hurt the most is that they lost all their photos, right? When something devastates their home. Same like this, if you don't save your photos, they're just in your phone. Phones die all the time. Phones crash, crack, break. And then you would lose the photos. So that's one reason to turn them on. So it goes to the cloud. Now, if you have that turned on or not, is if the phone decides if the photos go to the cloud. But that doesn't mean that the photos have come to your computer. On top of that, even if you told your photos to go to the cloud, which means that you save them in a location on the internet, and I teach a lot more about the cloud in my Mac classes if you want to know a bit deeper about the cloud. But let me just say that this is just through Wi-Fi, automatically your phones go to the cloud. Then On your computer, you also have to turn on the feature that says, sure, send the photos that are in the cloud to my computer. So it could be that your photos are going to the cloud, but your phone is going back and forth from the cloud, but that's it. And your camera and on your computer, you didn't turn the same feature on. You don't pay twice. The cloud is the space you pay for. So if in the computer, you need to turn on, hey, bring those photos from the cloud to my computer. If so, then when you take a picture on your phone, then that photo will show up on your computer. If instead you don't, let me share, by the way, I forgot to share. I've been sharing this empty screen. Let me share my computer now. And in my computer, guess what? Here are the photos that I took on my phone. They're already here. You see that? These are the photos that I took. And if I click on them, I did not assign a location to it. Remember, I turned that off, but it tells me that at 10:18, I took this photo. And the first one I had 10:17, I took this photo on when today. So I just took these two photos, but I had turned the location off. And I just did that for a second because, you know, somehow I don't necessarily want my exact home location to be on a recording on the internet. So that's why I turned it off for the moment I took this photo. But now if I keep taking photos all over the place, my phone will not record locations. So if I want it to go back to recording location, I need to go ahead and go back into the services and locations and just turn that on again. Does that make sense? Because if not, I have basically turned that feature off for my camera up until I turn it on again. Does that make sense? So anyway, this is an example of my phone, my photos having gone from my phone to the cloud. And then as we were talking, from the cloud to my computers. And I did nothing to make that happen other than the fact that my system has been set up and connected. So my photos are already in my computer. Those of you who want to test if this is happening for you, if you're not sure, go ahead and grab your phone and take a picture right now, as I did, of my screen, of your desk, of whatever, and give it a few minutes, seconds, depending on how fast your whole system works, but you don't need to do anything. If the system is turned on, they'll just pop in on your computer. You will see them at some point pop in as at the bottom, because that's where the new photos show up. I'm gonna clean up the feedback again. And now when you guys receive the photo that you just taken, like right now, do that. Take a photo and then wait and see. Once you see that photo show up on your computer, give me a yes. If you never see it show up, give it some time, give it 5 minutes or something, because I don't know exactly how long it'll take for you. Yolanda's saying it works for her, but it's delayed, right? So I want to see if it has to do with that your phone is turned on low battery power or whatnot. And then once we discover this, give me a yes if it works, give me a no if it never worked. And then we're going to go into the settings and see, well, what do you need to turn on or off if you want this to happen? Plan B, you don't want this to happen. You consciously didn't want this to happen. And how else do you get those phones into your computer then? Because you can, there's other ways to make that happen. But right now I'm seeing quite a few yeses are beginning to turn on, meaning the photo you took with your phone just arrived in your computer. If that's working and that's how you want it to work, that's good. If it's not working and you want it to work that way, I'll show you how to make that happen. And if on the other hand, you are happy with it not transferring it, then that's fine too. But then how do you get those photos into your computer so that you save them and you don't lose them when the phone is lost? So I'm going to go through all those variables, okay? So while you guys are making this discovery, so Yolanda's like, yeah, the delay isn't seeing them on your laptop and not on your phone. That's true. But let's see how long it takes. Did you take a picture right now? Take a picture.
No, let me
of your
the delay was like yesterday, Easter Sunday, after I got home. I want to share the pictures through my laptop via email, and it was not there. It was not on my laptop yet. It took several hours.
Yeah.
From
okay.
to transfer to the laptop.
Okay, so here's the thing, and it's true. Did you take many videos?
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't even take a video yesterday.
Okay, here's the thing. The photos have to go from your phone to the cloud And they won't happen, that won't happen until you got home, right? Because maybe you're in a park, maybe you're in a place that is someone else's Wi-Fi and you're not connected to that Wi-Fi, right? So the photos are still in your phone that whole time. When you get home, right, you
When
might
I-
have
yeah,
your laptop might be turned off, who knows? When you get home, your phone, when it connects to Wi-Fi, when you are home, it goes, oh, it's time to send those photos to the cloud. Unless, if you ever use the feature called low battery power, which if you know what I'm talking about, one of the ways to save battery power is to not send the photos to the cloud. So then it waits until you connect the phone to charge it. At that point, when the phone is connected, it sends the photos to the car. So there's some caveats there. I use my phone on low battery power so that it lasts to the end of the day. And so my photos don't get sent until I connect and plug my phone in at night. Does that make sense? Now, in this case, I had the phone on high battery power so that it would come in soon. But that's another reason it might take a while. The third reason it might take a while is if you took a lot of videos, I mean, all those photos are big and they have to go, or you took 10,000 photos, they need to go all the way to the cloud. And then from the cloud, they need to come all the way down to your computer, and your computer has to be connected to Wi-Fi. So that whole process, if you took one photo, could be quick. If you took many photos or including videos, it could take some time. So those are all the reasons. Or you could have a very slow internet connection. So those are reasons why it could be slow. If it really is taking days, that's a different issue. That's like, okay, something's happening. But if it's just taking a few hours, it could just be that that's how long the process needs to take. Now, did you try it right now? Did you take a photo as we were speaking, and did it arrive already or not? Because that's what I wanted to take.
Yeah, yes. I took a picture today. Yeah, it is already on my laptop.
Okay, so as you can see, it depends a bit. You're in the perfect location. You're at home with Wi-Fi. It's a simple photo. It went up and it came down. That's all it takes. But there's all these other variables as to why maybe a photo you took. Like when I go vacation and come back with 10,000 photos, it takes quite a while for all those photos to appear on my computer because there's a lot to process. It needs to go up to the cloud and then down. Does that make sense? So I think there's these different variables. I'm looking at, hold on, a couple of messages. I know I can see that you had, oh, Hjalmar had a hand up and now it's down. Okay, I was about to call your name, but okay. No one else has their hand.
I can't make it go to the cloud. At the bottom of my screen, it says how many photos. It doesn't have put it on the cloud underneath it, written underneath it.
Mm-hmm. So you don't, it could be that your
iPad, yeah.
Yeah, iPad, yeah. So if your settings are not turned on for your photos to go to the cloud and back, this won't work. And it's a choice you can make. I just want to find out who does or doesn't want that. I'm seeing Mary go yes, like it's not working for her, but it seems like it's a choice she made. I don't know. We'll find out now. Molly and Mary, I'm seeing people saying no, it didn't work for them. So now we're going to find out what might be happening, why it didn't work. But I'm seeing some people who didn't answer, like Mary Ferris, you haven't answered yet, or Sarah hasn't answered yet. Is it a yes or a no? Because then I can tell you, Audrey, some people who say no, people who say yes, and you're happy with that system, there you go. It's all figured out for you. I'm going to talk more about that. But one thing I do want to say, for people who said yes, there's one big caveat. Be careful, because if you delete a photo right now, so if you get rid of it, so I'm going to give you an example. Right now today I took 2 photos of my computer and 2 photos of my light, right? I did 4 photos, one after the other.
Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete one of them. Okay.
Oh,
Who's making noise? Hold on.
me.
Oh, okay. Hold on, Molly. I'm going to mute you for a second while I say this. So I'm going to delete some of these photos right now, right? So I'm going to get rid of this one here, the last one. I'm going to actually, why don't I get rid of both of the ring photos? That way it's easy. How do I do that? On my computer, I'm going to actually hit my delete key. Okay, I need to turn sounds off. You guys were talking in the background. I'm turning off Hjalmar's. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the delete key. And it says, delete, listen, from all your devices. This photo will be deleted from the iCloud photos on all your devices. Okay, It's warning me. So I'm saying, it's fine, delete, I'll say. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing with this second ring light photo, but this time I'm gonna do a right click. And delete, although it needs, you're not, when I see a right click and delete way down here, the choice is way at the bottom and it's not sharing on your screen. I'm going to delete the photo from there, and the same thing, delete from all the devices. So I've deleted it. I'm left only the 2 screen photos, and see how these have deleted. Now I'm going to turn on, I'm going to I'm going to go to my share my photo, my phone again, and open my photos, and boom, they were there for a second. When I turned on and they disappeared. Why? Because I deleted them from my computer. They also deleted on my phone. You see that? Once you have that photo in the cloud system, no matter where you have it, is only there once. You're seeing it in all your devices, but it's one photo. And if you delete it from here, it also deletes from there. So it's not like you can say, well, I want this photo on my phone, but not on my computer. Or I want this photo on my computer, but not on my phone. When you have this system turned on, it's one photo that shows up in different places. If I could have my iPad connected, you'd see it disappeared from there too. Not to despair, I can restore it now from my cloud. I'm show you that the deleted photos can be restored for 1 month. After a month, they disappear forever, right? But for 1 month, it's sitting there waiting for me. It didn't really leave my phone yet. But see how quickly that was. Now I'm going to do the other. I'm going to delete them from here. I'm going to delete them from my phone. I'm going to say, select photo. Don't want this anymore. So I'm going to go down here to this little trash can, and I'm going to, my phone just fell down. Sorry. I can't manipulate my phone and, okay. So I'm going to click on this little guy right there and delete photo. This photo will delete it from iCloud Photos on all your devices. Now I'm on my phone and it's warning me that. I'll say, that's okay, delete photo. Okay. And then I'm going to delete this one as well. So another delete right there. And delete photo. And I'm going to say, yeah. So I just deleted these from my phone now. Okay. So now I'm going to share my computer. And the photos are still there, updating, and it's about to disappear, updated, and it's disappearing. Oh, did I not delete the second one? There it is, updated just now. That's how quickly my phone that I deleted on my photo disappeared from my camera. It just took like what, 30 seconds or something to do that whole process. Had my phone or my computer not be connected to Wi-Fi, they'd still be here. It would wait until the computers talk to each other. Okay, that's the good and the bad of having your photos settings turned on, which is everyone who has a green check mark. Okay, now after a little bit, if there's no more questions on the green check mark side of things, I will go and talk to the people who have a red check mark, right? Like this is not working that way for them. Let's see whether it's a choice to have it not work that way. That's fine. Or if you do want it to work this way, how to change that setting to make it work this way. Okay. So I'm going to stop my share for a minute and let's talk to you guys a bit and see what's happening. Well, first of all, I want to confirm, Mary, are you there? Mary Ferris? I see Mary Mau's answer, but I'm not sure if Mary hasn't answered yet, if you're maybe not there or you haven't you haven't answered yet. So if you're there, please answer yes or no. Audrey, I know you've been saying things, so I think you're there.
I'm there.
Okay, so did that turning the system of having your photos appear and disappear, did it work for you? Or not?
I got a new iPhone and I've just started using it, and all my photos on my computer for, I guess it's from the cloud, it's downloaded onto my iPhone. I didn't want that, but it happened. And so all my photos on my computer are now on my iPhone. Now, when I take a picture with my iPhone, it does not download on the computer. So something is not connected, but I'm not sure.
Okay, that's
why.
interesting. We'll have to check that because it would seem that it was working because when you bought a new phone, your photos appeared on it, right? That makes
Right.
sense. But if you take a picture, it should be appearing also on your computer. And if that's not happening, maybe one of those settings is not turned on, because remember, we're going to have this it seems like boring conversation. Now we're going to go into our settings and we're going to start discovering what settings need to be switched on or off. And it's those settings that you might have one off or one on in one computer. Basically your phone, your computer and your phone have to have the same settings for them to go back and forth. Okay, so great. Give me a no so that I know that you're in the no, it isn't working for me position, right, Audrey? That way you're in red. And everyone else, I'm seeing some reds turn on and off and some greens turn on and off. So it's like you're changing your mind. So remember, don't turn them on or off. If yes, it's working, keep it green. If no, it's not working, keep it red. Now, for those who know it's not working, for some people, that's not what you want. And for some people, it is what you want. So red isn't bad. It's just, for me, it's just telling me yes or no. Are these systems, are your photos moving back and forth? That's all it's meaning, okay? Now, for the people who say no, I am going to ask you, okay, individually, is this something that you chose? You don't want your photos to go back and forth, or is this something that you want to change? You would rather your photos like not think about them. You want them saved and you want to see them on your computer. So I'm going to ask people that by that one by one. So I'm going by top to bottom how I see people. So Molly, you have a no. Is that, what's your situation? You do or don't want that?
Yes, I do want it. But it says Molly's waiting. I took a picture and it says Molly's waiting on it for my Mac. And it's been going on for about 5 minutes. It's still waiting.
Oh, so and normally your photos do appear, but right now it's waiting. It's
waiting.
Okay, it's possible, and this is another caveat, that because you're using, you're Zooming, a lot of your internet connection and Wi-Fi connection is being used by this Zoom. And so it's just waiting to have a bit of time. As long as that's, but if in general, your photos that you take on your photo do appear in your computer, then it's just delayed and it's waiting. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
But does it normally work? Your photos do appear on your computer normally? Like the photos that you recognize on your computer, they are the ones you took your phone?
Oh,
or not?
I'm not sure.
Well, look at the photos that are in your computer.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do they look like, are they the same ones from your phone?
Yeah.
Because some people have completely different ones. Or and the way I see it the best is go to the bottom of your photos, the newest ones, and look at the bottom of your photos and look at them all and go, oh, looks like I have the same photos here and there versus, oh no, it looks like I have these photos on my phone that never showed up on my computer. Like
Yes.
where they will be is on your phone. Now, the second choice or plan, Alan just, hi, by the way, I see you just checked in. The plan B is that you took your photos on a different device, right? And so then that's different. Then you have to bring them in yourself to your computer. But if you took them on a phone, that's the question I'm having right now, then is the system working? So if in general it's working, then change your choice to a yes, if it's just waiting. But if in general it's not working, then it's a no. So if in general it's working, go ahead and say yes, because then it's just about the process taking a bit more time. Right, next person would be Audrey. I see that you said no. Is
Correct.
it, so in your choice, in your case, do you want the photos to appear on your computer automatically, or is it a conscious choice that you don't want it?
I would like it to appear on my computer.
Okay. So then if you would like it to appear in your computer, change your no to a raised hand. That way I'm putting you in a category of, okay, for you, I need to tell you how to change it. So raise your hand and then you'll be like, yeah. Now don't change these settings, guys. I'm kind of like, with these settings, I'm kind of setting up the class to understand who needs what, okay? So the hands right now aren't about asking questions. If you have a question right now, you need to speak up, because in this moment, I'm going to classify people in red, green, or hand, okay? All right. Molly, yours should change to a yes, okay?
Yes.
All right, so give me a green, give me a green. Okay, good. Give me a green yes. Oh, it arrived. Good, it arrived. Cool. Who's next? Mary. There's 3 Marys here. Oh my God. Mary Uffling, Mary Ferris, and Mary Mao. Mary Uffling. I pronounce it right? Uffling?
Yes.
Uffling?
Yes. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My decision was intentional because I got a new computer and I needed to clean up everything that was on my phone. But now I would like to know how to do it, but I don't want to do it till I finish the cleanup. Does that make sense?
It does. And you want to clean up your computer or your phone, just to be
I
clear?
want to clean up my phone.
Okay.
Sorry. I got a new computer and a new phone. And when they gave me the new phone, they set it up so all my photos went to my phone.
Mhm.
So I need to get them off my phone. And I'm organizing them with a hard drive, a backup hard drive. But this computer that I'm on right now is completely clean. There's no photos intentionally. So ultimately, I want my phone to sync to my new computer, but I need about 2 weeks to clean them all up.
All right, but that's great. A, that's great. B, as you can see though, when you organize them on your phone, it organizes themselves on your computer too, if you have the system turned on. So all I'm saying is you can wait, or you can have it there, because the moment you organize them on one or the other, it happens equally on both. So I just kind of want to say that it doesn't make much.
When I say organize, I'm
Yeah.
literally creating folders with
Yeah.
years and events
Yeah.
and dragging them to folders.
Okay. But you mean on your Photos app or on your Finder, on your computer Finder? Like, are you doing the organization?
I'm doing it in the Photos app, and then I'm
Okay.
backing it up to a hard drive. And ultimately, I'll have everything on the cloud. I still back up to the
Got
cloud.
it. Got it.
This, yeah.
Okay, listen, looks like you are totally comfy with the system and that you're handling it well. So as long as you're clear of what's happening, that's great. And I'll show you now, when I show people how to make this turn on or off, how to then turn it into your computer. But let me just say, that said,
Okay.
and for other people who are listening, especially if you don't have such a good handle on file management as she does, whatever you do on your phone will happen on your computer, right? So no matter where you organize it, the other one will be organized at the same time, okay? So you can choose to do that. She's also backing up to a different hard drive. She's doing something that for most people in this class might be a little bit too advanced, so that I wouldn't recommend. But as long as it's working for her and she knows what she's doing, that's fine too, okay? There's so many options of what's fine. But I don't want people to think, oh, I need to organize them here first before I put them there. That is a choice she's making for a different reason, but not it's not a normal choice, okay? So it's because she's got this new computer. It's a whole reasoning. But other than that, any organization you do on your computer will appear on your phone. Any organization you do on your phone will appear on your computer. Does that make sense? You guys, I just want everyone else to be clear on that. Okay. Another person who's saying no at his point is Anna Thompson. Are you there? I do know you said you had an appointment. You're there. Okay.
I did it intentionally.
All right. You don't want your phones that you take in your phone to go to your computer. It's an intentional, right? Okay.
It's intentionally because I want to clean it up from my phone before I transfer into the computer.
Okay. Once again, I don't really understand precisely why, since it's much easier to organize on your computer than it is on your phone. Like on your computer, it's easier to do organization than on the phone. So, I mean, I understand the reason I don't want that, but the reason I want to organize before I send it is the one that doesn't make too much sense for me. But let me explain something that you might not know yet, you guys, everyone, because you can choose to have the photos that come into your computer just be tiny sized previews that allow you to organize, but don't take up much space on your computer. So if you're worried about space on your computer, I'm going to show you how to have this work where what's on your computer is a small version. What's on your phone is a small version. And guess where's the big version, you guys? It's in the cloud. So on your phone, they take small amounts of space. On your computer, they take small amounts of space, but the big space is taken on the cloud. That way you save your phone and your computer from getting full of stuff. So this system that we're showing that says yes for everyone, you can choose whether it deposits big old phones on your computer and on your phone, or if it keeps small phones on your computer, on your phone, photos on your phone, and the big stuff is in the cloud. The few times that you choose this photo I want big because I'm going to make a big print out of it, Oh, that's fine. You just tell it download and then you have the big one and then you make the big print like the 16 by 20. But the small version that's on your phone and your computer, definitely big enough to do at least an 8 by 10 print, right? So that would be saving space on your computer and phone. But as I said, for the cloud, you might need to be paying $1 a month or to $3 a month, depending on how many photos and videos you have. It's the videos that are culprits. You can have 100,000 photos and still be paying $1 a month. If you have a lot of videos, you might quickly go up to the $3 a month. So I'm going to recommend that if you take videos, that they be intentional and short, like a 1-minute video might seem like nothing, but a minute is a long time, right? And every second of a video can have 24 up to 70 images, depending on what quality video you're shooting. So 1 second is equivalent to between 20 and 70 photos. If you take a whole minute, that's 60 times 20 or 70 photos. So you've got like thousands of photos for a minute of video. So I'm going to say that it's a choice of deleting that video, or when you take the video, take a video of a portion, stop your finger, take another video, stop your finger, take another video, stop your finger. So then you have that minute in 3 sections, and then you can say, oh, this one I was just moving around, I'll delete it, and you're left with the 2 portions that are good. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's just about being a bit more intelligent than clicking and holding a whole minute, or forget a whole 5 minutes of video, right? That'll take up your entire phone space, your entire computer space very quickly. So that's just an aside. All right. So Anna, you changed your choice to a hand, but that's because that would be only if you want to change it, but you said it was intentional. So if it's intentional, you need to leave your choice on a red. Okay, because Audrey wants to change her system, and that's why I told her to raise her hand.
Okay.
But if you raised your hand and you are happy with it being as it was, then leave a red mark on your choice.
To answer the question.
But okay, so yeah, ask a question then.
Face down. I put it on
Go put it back on no, and then but ask your question. But give me a no so it's not empty, and then ask your question. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it says there, what happens if I transferred connecting my phone and then transferred the photos into a USB? Okay,
Do I pay the iCloud?
explain it again from your
If-
phone.
If I connect my phone into my computer, download all the photos, deletes the one that I don't know, and then save them in an USB. Now I can delete my albums if I want to.
Mhm.
And do I need to still pay for storage with the iCloud?
No. So let me explain to everyone what she's asking. Because yes, that is the plan, let's say plan C. And I do have one of my computers, I have it set up in this plan C that she's talking about and that kind of Mary is talking about. And then other computers are set like you saw in where it automatically goes through. And basically it's, you don't want your photos to be on your phone all the time. You don't want those photos to transfer automatically to your computer, but you want to be able to save them on some other hard drive. You know, you heard Mary say that, you're hearing Anna talk about that. If you basically only want the last few weeks of photos on your phone, not everything, right? Then what you need to do, yes, you need to first download them into your computer. And from your computer, you can move them off to another hard drive. Now, for better or for worse, that means that your photos are all in storage, but you're never seeing them. Once you organize them and you put it in another storage, that's long story. If you create a new library, you can keep the same storage, but basically your photos are always going to be on separate. You're never going to see them all together. You're going to be able to have to reach into them, but not through the Photos app. But is that a good way to save space on your computer? Possibly. As I said, you can also have it sit in the system where you have only the minimal versions on your computer, so it's not much of a difference in space. But you could do it that way. You could do it like for my photos that are big, like professional photos, if you want, that I take in raw photos that are really photos that I don't want to necessarily flip through all the time because they're not like my family or whatever. For that stuff, I don't put those in my Photos app. I keep those in a separate place, right? because those photos, I have maybe 100 photos of the same moment. I have like 200 photos of each thing. I have like thousands of photos, and they're all in this thing called RAW, which makes them huge. So I just bypass the whole Photos app system, and I work on them because I work them in Photoshop in a separate manner. Does that make sense? That said, you can go from Photoshop from here. For those of you who just work now and then in Photoshop, you can take them from here. So there's a way to bypass this whole system. If the reasoning is that way, if the reasoning is just to save space on your computer, I would think that the best thing is to just use the small version. But the last thing that Anna said is so that you don't need to pay the cloud to be big all the time, right? So if the point is that you don't want to be paying $1 a month or $3.99 a month or $9.99 a month, but I mean, I only know 1 or 2 people who need to reach that much. I would say that between $1 and $3 is the normal amounts that most people would have. If you don't want to pay that basically continuously, because you need to pay that all the time because your photos need that space all the time, then what you can do is have your photos taken off the app, and you like off your computer, like completely off your computer, and you have them in a separate hard drive, and you only go check them in that hard drive now and then, and that works. Okay, and then you can only pay the minimum amount to the cloud because your photos don't use the cloud system. If you do that, and that's my alarm reminding me to give you guys a break, if you do that, you need to be really conscious of when you take photos that matter, when you come home, you need to grab your phone, connect it with a cable to your computer, manually transfer your photos so they don't go through the cloud. They go straight from your phone to your computer. You connect it with a cable, you transfer the photos yourself, and they end up avoiding the cloud. Thus, you don't pay for that space in the cloud. Does that make sense? Now, good and bad of that system is good. You don't have to pay. That's a lot less. I mean, depending on how much you're paying. If it's $12 a month, a year, I don't think it's a lot less. But if it's the $3 a year, then it's becoming less. And if it's the $9 a year, then it's a lot less, right? A month, then it's a lot less, right? So you avoid that payment, but then you have to be conscious of doing that constantly, because if you forget and suddenly it's been 3 months, your photos on your phone and your phone dies, you've lost 3 months worth of photos, right? So you have to remember that the moment you take photos that you care about, you have to plug your phone in and transfer them to the computer yourself, okay? And that's a perfectly good way to do it as well, as long as you're constant and move them your way. So anyway, I think we've kind of covered almost all the choices, but I haven't yet asked Mary, what's your situation? Mary? Mary Mal.
I think I chose initially not to sync it, but I would like to sync it. However, I don't have a space. So I think that maybe that's the reason that I'm not syncing, because there's no space.
No space on your phone or on your computer?
On the cloud. So
Oh,
there's no way to sync it to the cloud and then back into my computer. That's what I think is happening.
So how are you paying at all monthly for the cloud? Okay, yeah. You can't do this without paying for the cloud. So if you want to do this and you want to start paying $1 a month, 99 cents a month, whatever, I'm just saying $1 because round it up, I can show you how to do that. And then you'll have space in the cloud to do that. But if you don't want to pay at all, then yeah, there's no way to do it through the cloud.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. It's like, I don't want to pay at all. And but I'll probably clean up some of my pictures in my phone or videos. So that maybe that will free up space and start syncing.
Oh, I assure you that with $1 a month, you'd have space for probably anything you have on your phone. The fact that you only have, see, that's why I'm saying that, because if you already aren't paying to go to the cloud and all your photos are in your phone, there's the max size phone that you can buy. I don't know how many gigs it can, 64 gigs, or maybe there's phones that if you have a phone that's the most expensive that has 128 gigs, that fits inside of the $1.99 in the cloud and back into your computer. You know, it's people who have the cloud turned on where you only have tiny size photos on your phone where you can keep taking more and more and more photos, that maybe when you transfer to the cloud is bigger than your phone, right? So if you are able to keep all your photos in your phone right now,
that's the kind of stuff that if you connect to the cloud, it'll just take $1 for it to work. And
okay.
$12 a year, I would say that's worth it, right? It's up to you. I mean, I'm not saying it, I don't want to say that it matters, how much money matters to someone or not, but the fact that it's only the photos on your phone you want to transfer and they're not connected right now tells me that $1 a month would be enough. So if that's who you are and you do want to turn the system on, then raise your hand so that you go sit up next to Audrey and I'll know what your choices are. And I do see a hand up from Rosa, which means you probably have a question though, right? Okay, so Mary, change your choice to a raised hand. So I'll know that what you want to do is turn it on. And then let me talk to, yes, Rosa, what's your question?
Yes, before I took this class with you, I organized all my photos. I took the paper photos, I make digital, and I organized in folders, and every folder in month, every month, according the occasion. Then my question for you, I have all my life in that way, in folders. And I did it with a Mac computer. But the problem now I have is if we, somebody in the family want to see that picture, that photos in a Windows program, in a PC, they can do it. Some other photos they can see, and other not. And I don't know what is your advice to do for me?
Okay, so let me back up. You have your photos organized on the Mac. And
Yes.
you're trying to share that folder with them and they're not
Yes.
seeing it?
But
Okay.
I have I use folders, no photo, because I didn't know how to use photos. Then my system I did it, use Page, make folders and organize by month my photos.
Okay, so but when you say Page or folders, you mean like on your Finder as a file?
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. So, and honestly, that's the way we had to do photos for the last, 20 years. Ever since we've had computers at the beginning, that's all we could do. And a lot of my photos for many years were organized that way until the Photos app became so useful at organizing stuff inside of it. So now I organize all my stuff, this stuff, the kind I want to share with family and friends or whatever in the Photos app. And then, yes, there's a way to share from the Photos app a shared album, I'll show you guys, that you can share with anyone, and no matter what computer they have, they can see the photos. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But anything that's on your computer, like not on your computer on your Photos app, but just sitting on your computer in the files of photos, that is hard to transfer. It's hard to share for people. It's living in your computer and nothing else, right? So if you want to be able to share these photos, you would then have to put them somewhere else to share them. So yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about how to do the whole cloud thing, because I want to address most of the class. And then there's a couple people who have this other needs, like what you're saying, or Mary's saying, or Anna's saying, and then I can address those a little bit more directly. Okay. So for now, though, do you have the cloud system set up at all or not on your phone? Like, photos that you take on your phone, do they come to your computer or not?
Yes.
They do right now. Okay. So leave your hand up like that, so I know it's a bit different, even though the cloud works for you. And then let me go and talk to a couple more people who haven't made a choice yet. Mary, the other Mary, connected and disconnected 3 times. Mary Ferris, are you there? There you go. Okay, Mary. Sorry, there's 3 Marys and I'm like looking all over. So you are a yes, like yours does work? The system
Yeah, I
works?
connect to the cloud. That's the question. Connected
Yeah,
to the cloud.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then I want to point, I'm seeing Alan there. The question is, give me a green yes if your photos connect to the cloud automatically. Give me a no if they don't. And from my memory of you, I think yours don't, but maybe I'm wrong. And I do want to point people to something that Harry just said in the chat. So Harry has taken my classes quite a few times, and he was one of the people who always said, no, I choose not to have my photos in the cloud. I'm really sorry to read what I just read right now, Harry, but Harry travels around the world. He takes photos all the time. And he had so many photos and stuff. And so he decided he was saving them on the side, which is a choice that you can make. It's a perfectly good choice. But if you read the chat, what he said, let me read it to you in case you guys didn't catch it. He said, and this is a guy who takes photos all the time. He takes my Photoshop classes. He takes photography seriously. And he says, a few years ago, I had 2 hard drives for the backup of my photos. At that time, I didn't have extra iCloud space. Well, almost the same time, those 2 hard drives crashed and I lost all those photos of over 50 years. A painful experience. Finally, I have paid to have the extra space in the cloud, and now I do have 3 backups. So I do recommend to have extra and extra spaces. I'm not saying that's what you need to do, but oh my God, Harry, my heart goes out to you, because that is precisely one of the good things about the cloud, is that no matter what happens to your computers that do crash and die, my goodness, that is a perfect example. In the end, it would seem that things are safer from hard drive crashes if you do have the cloud system, because your hard drive can die, your computer can die, your phone can die. And at this point, I'm saying it's extreme. It doesn't normally happen, but hey, we know in this community people who's lost their entire homes at a mudslide. So it can happen. A fire, it can happen that you lose all your devices, but the cloud is still there, right? So, you know, on the other hand, if you leave things on a hard drive, and this is people who take my Mac class, you can also back up those hard drives to the cloud. This is not the only way. The Apple Cloud is not the only way. But if you have stuff in a hard drive, which is what Mary and Anna are saying, and Anna even mentioned a USB drive, those are not the safest ways to save your photos. And this is right there, written by Harry. I did not know this story. Hard drives die all the time. I have a ton of hard drives and they consistently die, and you need to have a backup to your backup and then that to the cloud, because in the end, ultimately, the cloud is the only thing that doesn't die as far as electronic device kind of death. Okay. So at some point or another, you're going to have to pay for some kind of backup. And I pay for 2 kinds of backups. I pay for iCloud, and I also pay for a Backblaze, which is another kind of backup that backs up the whole rest of my computer and my hard drives. I teach that in the class right now that I'm teaching Mac level 2. Okay. So for people who choose to have their stuff on a separate device, which is a totally valid choice, you have to have 3 backups of your stuff for it to be an actual backup, or you will go through this heartbreak of losing all your stuff that you've had forever. Harry, my heart goes tremendously out to you, and I can't believe how hard that is. Okay. So backups, because devices die. That's all I'm going to say. And many times I don't have a perfect example to show you. You just have to trust me. But right now, yeah. So if Joe says, how about if a hard drive dies? How about Time Machine? Yes. So Time Machine is on a hard drive, right? And so, yes, you should have a Time Machine on your hard drive. And this, again, for people who are only in my photos class, I'm not going to explain this whole thing. Take my Mac classes, but he knows because he's also in those. A hard drive holds your Time Machine. But at that point, it's in your computer and in your hard drive. So it's in 2 places. The chance of both dying at the same time is rare, but it is. So for those people in those classes, I'm going to teach you a 3rd choice, which is to go to the cloud. And that's the way you can, your stuff isn't safe until it's in 3 places, right? Once it's in 3 places, one of them being outside your home, which is the cloud, then the chance that all 3 go, well, you know, apocalypse now can happen. But other than that, it's hard to have everything die at the same time. Okay. All right. So that's the answer to the Time Machine. If you have a Time Machine and it dies, hopefully by then your computer hasn't died. Then you set up another Time Machine. When your computer dies, you have the Time Machine. When all of those die, you have the cloud, the Backblaze cloud, or the Mac cloud. Okay. All right. Yeah, Yolanda, you're in my Mac class, and I'm going to have you make a new Time Machine, because I know I remember what you're writing there. So make sure you buy another hard drive, and then by the end of this class, the Wednesday class, I'll help you make another Time Machine. Okay, guys, what we're talking about is photos are precious, right? And you want to make sure they don't die. So whatever system you choose, if you choose to have them on a hard drive, please back up that hard drive in 2 other places. Okay. Otherwise, your photos might disappear. All right. I I think right now everyone has given me their answers. Alan, I know you choose not to have them on the cloud, and I don't think you're going to change your mind about that, right? So I think your choice, your red is fine. You transfer things by hand, right? Alan, I think. I know that I talk so much that when I finally call a name, sometimes people don't know that I'm talking to one person individually, but okay. I know from other times that Alan has been in the class that that's been his choice. So, okay. I think that now what we have is most people are saying yes. Some people are choosing to stay no, which in this case is Mary. Anna, you don't have a yes or a no. So I don't know if your choice is to stay not connected, then give me a no. So I'll know that you're on a red.
I will think about it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, $1.99, 99 cents is $12 a year. I don't think that one takes much thinking. Now, if you have a lot more than that, then you start going, okay, do I really want to pay, $36 a year for the $3.99? The $2.99 version is $3 a year. So that's about $36 a year. Is that something that, you can normally in 3 coffees at Starbucks, it's worth it? Yes. If you're the kind of person who doesn't spend $3 and you really take care, is $36 worth it? That's your choice. $9.99 becomes okay. That's some money now, right? Do I really want to pay $240 a month? So that becomes more of a do I really want to go there? But I only know of 1 or 2 people who in this whole entire time that have needed that many gigs. Okay, most people are more than fine resting at the most $2.99. And if you go down to see how many photos and videos you have on your computer, you can see it down here at the bottom most of the all photos and library. That tells you how many photos and videos you have. Here in this is my sample, I have very few. Normally I have thousands, I have tens of thousands in mine. And if so, that will give us a better idea. Mainly how many videos you have will give us an idea of whether you're going to need more or less space. But we're going to go and look at the cloud settings when we come back. Don't change your settings. Don't change your yeses, your nos, your raised hands. Don't change them. Leave them exactly as they are, please, because and I'm just in case someone still changes it. Let me do a little screenshot of you guys. There you go. That way, if someone does make their choices, if changes, then when we come back from break, I can still kind of remember our decisions. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to go do the yay, not so fun, but very necessary look at all of our settings in the cloud on our phones and our computer to make this work whichever way you want it to work. Some of you want to change to being a yes. Some of you are happy staying at a no. And then there's these in between questions. How do I transfer them by cable if I don't want the cloud? Okay, so we're going to address all those choices. Okay, so let's take, logic, how many coffees at Starbucks for iCloud cost compares, and Leon is saying is, yeah, see like where you spend your money and see like losing all of the photos of your life experiences. How many copies is that worth? Yeah, that's the way I see it. Okay. Okay, 10 minutes, it's 11:10, so 10, 11:25, let's do 15 minutes. So be back by 11:25. Be back by 11:25 a.m. There we go. See you guys in 15.
Diane, this is Audrey.
Oh, yes, Audrey.
Oh, excuse me. Diane,
Yes.
I have to leave for a dental appointment at 11:30.
Oh.
So you might not be able to help me today, but I will access your video.
Yeah, I was going to say the settings that I'm going to share on the video, I'm going to tell everyone these settings now. So if you watch the video, right, look at the time. And as of 11:25, when we start again, that's going to be how many hours in and the video. We started at 9 to 10, 10 to 11:30. So around 2.5 hours in, turn the video on and watch from that point on. Okay. And
okay.
Hopefully that'll work.
Okay. Thanks for
All right.
everything.
You're welcome.
I'll work on it. All
Great,
right.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. There's still a little bit of time left, 30 seconds or so, but I'm starting to speak up so that you all who hear me in the background know to come back, come back, come back. It's time to come back. All right. Come on back. Oh, my glasses. Okay, so I'm seeing people moving around. That means you're here. Sometimes I have you guys give me a sign of life, but if you do that now, you'll change your settings. So don't change your settings. I want you to keep you in that mode. Someone else had their hand up before and now it's not up. So let me look at the screenshot. Oh, Audrey, but Audrey had to go. That's why. Okay, so that shifted the perspective, but yeah, most people still have their choices up. Got it. Good. Okay. Is everyone back? You're all here. All right. So we're going to share my screen. This is the portion of the class where it's different. It looks different because we're going into settings. It looks different if you are in Ventura. If your computer is a Ventura, then if your computer is in anything older than Ventura, basically. It doesn't matter what. Anything older than Ventura looks one way and Ventura looks a different way. And Ventura looks basically almost like the phone and the iPhone, okay? And the iPad. So when I show you Ventura, it'll be very similar to the iPhone and the iPad. When I show you anything older than Ventura, it'll look like what I'm sharing right now. The computer screen I'm sharing right now is my computer that in this case, I think I'm in Big Sur, but you could be in Monterey or in Catalina or in Big Sur. Any other, even High Sierra, any other looks like this. What I mean by like this is we're going to open our system preferences. I'm going to open them from down here from the dock. You could also open your system preferences going to the Apple icon and choosing system preferences right there. And this is what system preferences looks like on a system that's older than Ventura. Now I'm going to change that to share my Ventura so that you can see what this would look like in Ventura. So those of you who are in Ventura can follow at the same time as those of you who are in the older systems. And so here is what my system, it's not system preferences, it's called system settings. Okay, and again, you get it from the same spot, either from your dock, the icon is the same, or up from the Apple, you come to the system settings. Okay, so this is different. Now, what I can't do is show both at the same time. I would love to be able to show you the Ventura system settings right next to the older system settings, but since that is on two different computers, I can't do that. So I'm going to flip from one to the other. Does that make sense? Now, last week we all clarified what kind of system setting, Ventura or older you are, but right now it doesn't matter. All you need to do is go to your system settings, and if it looks like what I'm showing you right now, that means that you have Ventura in your computer. If it looks like the one I showed you before, that means that you have an older one. So right now I'm going to start, since I'm sharing Ventura, I'm going to start with this system. The system that looks just like the phone or the iPad. So even those of you who actually do not have Ventura, open your phones and your iPads and go to the phone settings, and you'll see that it is very similar to what I'm going to show right now. The difference is that on the phone, you see this, and then when you click on one of these choices, right, you click on this, that just changes to the screen because it can't show you both at the same time, right? So if we head down to any of these choices, the screen shifts versus on the phone or on the versus on the iPad, though it does the same thing. You see it just like this. iPad is just like Ventura because there's space to show you both. On the phone, on the other hand, it shows you this, and anything you choose switches to this, and then you need to go back, right? So the first thing we're going to go do is we're going to click on our Apple ID at the very top. Okay, so everyone who's on Ventura, or those of you who are following on your phones or iPads, click on the very top where it says Apple ID. Usually it'll have your name, right? In this case, my Apple ID for this system is the Business Services, SBCC Business Services.
So if I have Ventura on my phone and my Mac, where do you want me to be right now? On my phone or on my Mac?
Well, I'm showing the Mac, so be on your Mac.
Okay.
I'm just saying for anyone who is not in Ventura,
Okay.
you can look at your phone right now. But other than that, I'm going to show also the system preferences on the not Ventura later. But right now, since I'm on Ventura, I might as well follow also on your phone if you have an older system. Otherwise, please follow on your Mac because that's what I'm showing.
I have
Mac
a
Ventura.
Monterey.
Yeah, so then I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
I'll show you later because I'm going to share the other computer. But if you have a phone, go to your phone system settings and you can basically see what I'm doing and do it on your phone. All right. All right. This is the choices that we come up with. Because by the way, all these settings are how my computer is going to work. But right now, it's not about how my computer works. Right now, I need to go and see how my iCloud works. And the iCloud is part of the Apple ID, right? So you won't find the iCloud here. You'll find it under your Apple ID because it's your Apple ID. It's your connection to Apple that tells your computer how to connect with the cloud. All right. So that's why we go to the Apple ID portion of it. Under the Apple ID portion, you will find the word iCloud right there. And so click on iCloud. And now we're ready to see what happens with my photos with regarding to the cloud. Now, first of all, the first thing I'm going to show you is how much space you have left. Now, in this account, the account that belongs to the school, they're not paying $1.99 a month or $25.99. It's the free amount that Apple gives you. And the free amount that Apple gives you is 5 gigabytes. Just 5 gigabytes. That's it. That's fine. This is good enough for when you don't put photos in your Photos app, right? Or in my case, when you have very few photos, I have 450 photos plus 39 videos. And that's all I can do because it's my sample amount of photos that I can teach you. And already, as you can see, it's almost filled up. So what does this mean? Of my 5 gigabytes, this much of it is taken up by photos. And over here, it says 3.89 of my gigabytes are taken by photos. So basically 4 gigabytes of my 5 are taken by photos and videos, right? And then I have a few documents and other kind of stuff. And so I only have this much available left, which is very little space. So this gives you an idea of how full your cloud is. Okay, so for those people who were wondering, oh, do I need to pay for more? Am I okay? How full is my cloud? This is showing you how full your cloud is. I'm gonna stop this share for a second because now I'm gonna go show you this so that we're all in the same space for people who are on Monterey or Big Sur or anything else. All right, so here we go. This is how the system preferences look on anything older than Ventura. Visually, it looks very different, but basically it's the same. All these things that show up as little icons on the Ventura are just looking like a long list. But here is where we have our Apple ID. So we're going to click on Apple ID right there. And when we do that, here is where we see the same thing I was just showing you, the iCloud, how much space I have left. We're seeing it down here. Okay. So this down here is what I was pointing to you in the other computer. So you can look at how much storage space you're paying for. If it's 5 gigabytes, it's free. If it's 20 gigabytes, you are paying $1 a month. I believe 50 gigabytes. I'm trying to remember the prices, how many gigabytes you get. But anyway, there you go. All right. So the next set of choices we need to make now is if you head up here to the photos, don't change this. If it's a check mark or not, do not change it right now. Do not click on this out of curiosity. Big things happen. So do not click. I swear, do not click on that. If on the other hand, you're in Ventura, go down to where it says photos. Do not check on the little slider that goes blue or green. Do not change it. If it's yes or a no, right now, please stay in that until I explain the features.
Diana,
Yes.
I try to follow where you are now, and did you said go to the system setting?
Yeah. If you have Ventura, or do you have something older than Ventura?
I have Ventura, and I
Okay.
was with you, except that when you switch to, I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
If you're in Ventura,
I'm in Ventura. I followed you up until to the latest now where you are. I was not able to follow you where your
Okay.
Apple ID was on the right side and mine
Okay.
is.
where I am right now is I am showing not Ventura. So if you're not in Ventura, don't look at this. Hang on. Right now I am showing people who are in Big Sur or Monterey or Catalina. Okay, so just hang on. I'm switching back and forth because I want people to be in the same spot. But I'm addressing half the class in Ventura and the other half is in the other one. Okay, so right now if you're in Ventura, just wait. All right, so for people not on Ventura, this is where you look at the same thing, the cloud storage. Okay, so if you see that your cloud storage is very full, right, like this one, and you say, you know what, very full means only the gray space is available left. Okay, this is out of 5 gigabytes, 1 gigabyte is available, the other 4 are taken up. And you can see what a big portion of that is my photos and videos. That means that if I'm going to keep taking photos and videos, I'm going to have more space. Then you can click on manage. And once you click on manage, it gives you the possibility of adding storage. What this means is paying, right? So I'm not saying you need to do this. I'm telling you, if you find that you are on the verge of having no more space in your cloud, then you can click on add storage. And it's telling me right now I'm not paying anything. And if I want 50 gigabytes, it was not 20, I was wrong. If I wanted to get 50 gigabytes, so tons more space, I need to pay $1 a month. If you want to have 200 gigabytes, which is like, wow, tons more space, then it's $3 a month. If you want to have 2 terabytes of space, then you're going to have to be paying $10 a month. And 2 terabytes, I've been saying 9. It's actually $10 a month. I apologize because I've been saying 9, but in that case, the extra dollar makes a difference. So it's $10 a month, $3 a month, or $1 a month. 2 terabytes, 200 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes. Now, just to remind you what size these things mean, 1 gigabyte is equivalent to 1 terabyte is equivalent to 1,000 gigabytes. So this is basically 2,000 gigabytes. Okay, so this is 2,000 gigabytes. I know that it's hard to understand, but 2 terabytes is equivalent to 2,000 gigabytes. So basically for $10 a month, you get a ton more than 200 gigabytes. Okay, so I think that 99.9% of you guys would fall between one of these two. If you're already paying $99 a month and you saw that yours was very, very full, it might be time to consider, not yet, but whenever you get prompted, it says there's no more space, you might need to switch to this one. If you are at the end of this one, again, if anyone's at the end of this one, let me know. I would like to see if maybe you need to work on deleting some videos, but if you're at the end of this one, then maybe you need to start paying that much. Now, what space this is paying for can be used by photos and videos, but I'm going to cancel now because I'm not going to change this. I'm going to cancel. If I decide to change this, say that I click that I want this and say next, it's going to take me to here where I need to put in my password, my credit card, and then it'll start changing me that much. I'm not going to do it right now, but that's all you need to do. Put in your Apple ID password, and then it'll ask you if you want to change, and that's what's going to be. I see your hand is up, Sarah. Yeah, I can't hear you.
I'm having problems. I went to my computer now and I went into, settings.
Are you in Ventura?
No, Monterey.
Monterey, okay, so just like this, okay. Yeah.
And so here I am, I open it up and then it's system preference, and then it has, you know, Sarah Lucas, Apple ID, blah, blah, blah. And I try to click on that and it doesn't do anything. Then it has right to the right of it.
Okay, hold on, does this, when you click on Apple ID right here?
Yeah.
That's when that, does it just say sign in or something like that? What does it say? You don't see this?
No.
Do you see like this or this or that? If you
I-
get here,
I-
you need to
yeah.
click on iCloud right there. Click on iCloud.
Oh, okay, okay. Got it, all right.
And then you'll be here, and that's where you'll see this.
And then I can click on, and this would be.
If you want to buy more, only if you need to buy more space, because you're almost to the end, or because your computer has told you you're running out of space or something like that, the cloud, then you click on manage. And I don't think many of you need to do this, but I'm showing you where you would switch that would be click on manage, and that gives you the option to purchase more. I'm not saying that you need that. If you need to purchase more, that's where you would do it. Right now, I want us to cancel out of that and come back here.
Right.
Because now I want to show you this very important check mark here. Very important check mark.
Right.
Optimize max storage.
Okay, hold on. I've got to get back to that.
The full contents of your iCloud drive will be stored on this Mac if you have enough space. And older documents will be stored only in iCloud when space is needed. What this is saying is that if I click on this choice, which in my case it's chosen, don't change this willy-nilly. Don't click on it just to test it, because these choices are big. These check marks make big differences on your computer. If you click on this, then all the stuff you have on your photos and in your iCloud, because some of you guys, the iCloud, and I teach this in the Mac class, I'm not going to teach it now. Some of you guys here have your documents and your desktop in files also in the cloud. So this space is shared by your photos, your videos, and all your desktop and document folders, right? So all of this is up in the cloud. These things take very little space, so that's in the cloud too, but the two that are big hogs of space would be these two. So over here, it's telling me that I have most of it in photos and videos, and then this is my documents, which in this fake account, I have very few. And then I have some space taken up by backups, and some by mail, and some by messages, and then a little bit of empty space. That's the apps on this Mac that are using iCloud. So a little bit of my mail is putting their stuff in there, a little bit of other stuff, but mainly it's photos, as you can see, or documents that as soon as I put bigger things, it would occupy space too. Okay, that's how it's distributed for me. If you already have like 50 gigabytes, you might see a different proportion. If your desktop and documents are also goes into the cloud, you might have a large number here for desktop and documents. So that's what takes up the space. It's not just photos and videos, it's also desktop and documents. Now, some of you guys do not have your desktop and documents turned on. Again, I talk about that in the Mac class, not here. In which case, you don't have space occupied by desktop and documents, but you do have the photos turned on, then you have photos. But you could also have neither one turned on. You could have no photos, in which case the iCloud would not have any of your photos available. And thus you can probably hang out with only 5 free gigabytes, okay? So this photos choice is a big deal. Having this on means that all your stuff is going to the cloud, from your computer to the cloud. We are in the computer right now, okay? We are in the computer, we're not in the phone. I'm not in the phone. So all my photos app is connected to the cloud. What does that mean? Any photos that are in the cloud are in my computer. Any photos that are in my computer are in the cloud. Now I don't take photos with my computer, right? So what really this is doing is that all the photos that are coming from my phone that are in the cloud are coming to my computer, because that's the only way these are automatic. If I add photos to my computer that I receive maybe in a text or something that I don't have in my phone, then that will go up to the cloud, right? But right now it's mainly all the photos from my phone coming down from the cloud. This has to be on if I want my computer to receive photos from my phone. Now, it is also saying that if I don't have space in the computer, it's going to optimize my Mac, okay? My computer, my Mac is my computer, not my phone, my computer storage. Thus, the big stuff is going to stay on the cloud, and only the small stuff is going to come. This is to protect the space on my computer from getting too full. Okay. Unless you have a burning question here, I'm going to show you the exact thing now on the Ventura. Is there anyone who is in this mode who needs to ask something? Let me say one last thing, by the way. Why I'm telling you not to change this on or off is because if it's on, you're already having your system using the cloud. And if you have it off, for those of you, Mary, I believe, and who else decided that they wanted, Audrey, who's not here right now. So Audrey, when you listen to this recording, you two had said you did want your stuff to go to the cloud. Then you two, only Mary and Audrey, you're the only ones who said that they wanted their stuff to change to go to the cloud. Yes, you two have to check this and turn it on. If you're not in Ventura. If you're in Ventura, I'll show you the equivalent. Yes, turn it on. As soon as you do that, your computer will, over time, maybe when we're not on Zoom, begin to connect all the stuff that's in the photos in the cloud to your computer. Now, if your phone still isn't connected to the cloud, then there won't be any photos to bring up and down. But you've enabled it to begin the process. Now, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to switch to Ventura to show you the exact same thing on Ventura. So there's nothing new. There's just what I'm showing you right now is just exactly the same, but how it looks like in Ventura. And here's how it looks like in Ventura. You see the same management stuff here. Again, optimize max storage is turned on. So I'm trying to take care of the space on my computer. After all, I'm already paying for the space in the cloud. And if this were to be off, then the full-size photos would be on my computer. Okay. So if I don't want the full-size photos on my computer, I'm going to have this on. Not only photos, but remember, it's also stuff that's in your desktop and documents. Okay, now I head down to photos. And again, this has to be switched on. This means on. On, off would be if, and I'm going to turn only this one off as an example because this one is, I don't have anything in this one, I know, so it's not a big deal. If you click on this, this will turn off. Now, it's not a big deal here because this is an app that just appeared in the new computer in Ventura. It's an app I have done nothing with or used nothing. So I know that if I turn this on or off, it won't make a big difference to me. So now I'll turn it on. And the moment I turn it on again, is, oh, so do you want to merge what's in your computer with the stuff that's in the cloud? And I'm like, yeah, see, because right now I don't have anything in it. It's fine. But that's what you're going to get if you turn this off or on. If it's off, go ahead and turn it on for Mary or I believe it was, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember who said, oh yeah, of course, Audrey who had left. And I'm seeing Rosa have your hand up, but I'm not sure now it's because you were saying, I think you had a second, you had another thing going on. Give me a second while I finish explaining this. Your hand was up, but it was for a different reason. If you turn this on, fine, it's automatic. It'll just begin to connect. And why I'm telling you not to turn it off is because if you now turn this off, like I did down there, and here's the thing, instead of your photos staying in your computer, which we do assume, what happens when you disconnect it is the photos stay on the cloud. And your goal was to disconnect it, but then your computer will not have any of the photos. All the photos will stay only in the cloud. If you want them down on your computer, you're going to have to go and select them and delete and download them. And it's a whole big deal. So once it's on, it's easier if you just keep it on. Don't delete it. Okay. Once everyone confirms that this is okay and you got this choice set up, now, and remember, this should be off. Now I'm going to share on, because this is your computer. Everything I've just showed you is your computer. Now, the equivalent to this has to be also set up on your phone. Otherwise, your phone, if your phone is not flowing to the computer, then it doesn't matter what you put in, is not flowing to the cloud. Then no matter what you put in here, your phones are still not going to transfer, right? So if you're going to have the system work seamlessly, you need to make sure the settings are the same on both your phone and your computer. So now I'm in the phone, I'm going to settings, okay, opening settings. And again, I'm going to the cloud way up here at the top of the settings. By the way, for those of you who had come here before and gone, for example, to the privacy that I had taken you before, right? And you were in here, how you go back, you have to go up to the top and go back to the settings, scroll all the way down, and then here you are. It's the beginning setting of the settings that takes you to the cloud. So click up here through the Apple ID, that takes us to the cloud, and then cloud. Okay, we're looking for my iCloud. So click on cloud. Right, and here you go. On the phone, you see exactly the same thing that I've been seeing before. Here it is. Here's my cloud. So I could also click on manage account storage and add more space here. If you add it here, it's for your whole cloud. So you pay for it one time. It doesn't matter which device you're in. You pay for more space in the cloud, and then you decide if your photos access it or not. So here I go. I go to my Photos app. In this case, it has to say on for it to mean that the photos are going up and down. If it says off, again, like I said before, it means that your photos are not, your phone, photos that you're taking with this phone are not going to the cloud. If it's on, they're going to the cloud. And then you're going to go down here. Of course, this is to say sync this iPhone, right? Because this is the phone that's going to cloud. And then optimize iPhone storage. Again, what this means is that your iPhone only will keep the small version of these things, and the big stuff has gone up to the cloud. Okay. If I were to say download and keep the originals here in the phone, then my photos would take up a lot of space in my phone. So this is what needs to be turned on. Now, what this means by having this on here, it tells you if your phone is low on space, the big full resolution photos and videos will be up in the cloud, and it will be replaced with smaller device size versions. The full resolution versions can be downloaded from the cloud anytime. So when would you need the big full size versions? For example, if you're going to make a big print, right? So how many times do you print your photos? Probably out of hundreds of photos that you take, only now and then do you print one photo. So when you want to print that one photo, you download it and you print that one big photo. The rest of the time, this is more than enough. These are fine to share with social media, to send with friends on email, to have people, you know, send them the last event that you took, photos of their way. This is like 99% of your work is going to be done with these small versions. It's only when you want to do a full-on big print of your photos that you really will need the full size version. Okay. So now your phone is being protected from being too full, and it's your cloud that is holding the big stuff. And so now anytime you take a photo from here, it goes straight to the cloud. See, it says sync 20 minutes ago. That's about when I took that photo, remember, of my desktop. Up it goes to the cloud. And then when you, if your computer says the same thing, give me photos of cloud, it's going straight into your computer. That's the system you need to be set up for them to automatically show up. If any of these things is different, if you don't have this turned on, for example, then it won't automatically sync, right? It'll be on, but it won't be syncing. So you need to have this turned on. If you want to say, don't sync until I tell you to, then turn this off. And then even though you're using the cloud, you would have to come in and tell it, turn this on each time that you want to sync something. I would recommend keeping this on. Then it's dependent on having a connection to Wi-Fi, okay? Now, the other thing I want you to know that I didn't show you before is later I'm going to show you this feature, shared albums. You might have it on automatically or not. I don't remember. But if you have it off, all this means is that if you want to have other people see some of your albums, they can't see it. If we haven't done albums yet. I'm going to go into albums for a minute, and soon we're going to get into organization, but maybe you can create an album with photos of your daughter's wedding, and then you can share it with a family member who didn't get to come, and you'll send them a link, and they'll be able, you don't have to send them any photos. What you're going to do is say, hey, I have given you permission in this email address, click on this link, and you'll be able to see the photos that are in that album. So there's no need to send photos. Does that make sense? They will be able to look into your album, but just that one. It's not like suddenly they can see all your photos. They will be able to see that one album that you're offering to share with them. If you have a shared family account, which some of you have, some of you not, I'm not going to get into how to do this right now because this is more about a Mac, then you can set this up so that your family, and literally your family group is a certain group of people that you put in that share the same amount of storage and everything all together. Like I actually pay for the $9.99 a month, but my entire family uses that same amount. Okay. So my husband's photos, my kids' photos, everything is feeding off of that one $10 a month account. And I figured it was better than when I was paying a little bit for each one. It's cheaper to have 4 of us share the $10 a month than each one having the 4. Does that make sense? Anyway, so that's how I do it. This isn't my personal account. This is my school account, so it's not set up. But in my personal account, we all feed off of this. We don't share our photos. It's not like we all have one big album. That it's more like we share the storage space. Anyway, so now if that is a choice that you want, go for it. If you don't want that, you want to keep the things on your computer, not on your phone, not connected to your computer, then this choice up here should be off. Okay. And how you turn it off would be by turning this sync off. Then the cloud, the photos will stay in the phone. And if you lose your phone, the only saving grace will be if every time you take photos, you come home and you connect with a cable to your computer and directly send these photos that you have in your phone directly to your computer. It's a manual process. And for those of you who want to do that, I can share with you how to do that. Okay. This setting, wait, last thing though. If you have it, 1 second, Joe, if you have an iPad, do exactly the same thing that I just showed you right now, but on the iPad. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, yes, Joe, what do you want me to repeat?
Yes, I mean, you are talking about Apple ID, the settings, you change Apple ID or iCloud, so that just the last couple minutes you mentioned about, yeah.
Apple ID, oh, when I talked about sharing the library?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure. So repeat. I just said, if your family already is sharing your same storage space.
No, this is not.
That's not, okay.
I'm asking about when you are moving up to the iCloud or the Apple ID, you mentioned about something which I lost. Yeah.
Here?
It is, yeah, right here.
And are you still talking to Ventura only?
No, now I'm on my phone, right? So everyone has their phone. So no, I switched to my phone, and this is for everyone's phones and or iPads. Pick up your phones and iPads. Okay, this is phone and iPad. First I showed Mac, then I showed Ventura. Now I'm on the phone, which is iOS. Remember the OS, no matter if it's Ventura or whatever, it's the same. And if you're on the phone, it's the Apple iOS on the phone is the same as the one on the iPad. So if you have both phones and iPads, you need to go to the settings on your phone and on your iPad and have the equal settings if you want to be able to see your photos on your iPad. A lot of people like to have their photos on the iPad and then show people their last trip or something, right? But if you never want to see the photos on your iPad, then you don't need to connect it, right? It's up to you. It's your choice, but you can. The whole point is that once you are paying for the amount of space, you can choose whether to see them or not on one device or another. You can pay for the stuff to go from the phone to the cloud, but then you can choose not to turn on the computer so that it doesn't bring the stuff down from the cloud into your computer. You can say, I don't want the photos on my computer. I mean, I don't see why you would not, but you could say, no, my computer, I don't want it to have my photos. I will handle them only from my phone. Okay, then turn it on here, but don't turn it on in the cloud. It basically is, I'm gonna stop this share for a minute and something I haven't done yet is I am accessing my, give me a second because I'm accessing the handouts. And in my handouts, I have, I believe it's here. If not, I have it in my Mac class, but I think I would have it here. Oh, no, I don't have it in the iLife handouts. So I have it in the Mac handout. So let me just do this and then I'll put it in these handouts. Give me a second. Mac. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen now with a crude little piece of a little crude drawing that I have in the handouts for the Mac classes. I'll put it here in the iLife classes, which is basically, this is the cloud right there. This is your phone and your iPad, and this is your computer. If you, on your phone, turn on the choices, those stuff goes to the cloud. Like, yes, your photos you take here on your iPad or on your phone will go to the cloud. That's it. But if you choose to not have it turned on here, if this is not happening, then those photos will not go to your computer. Perfect. That's your choice. If, on the other hand, you turn those settings on your phone too, then when you take a photo here, it's going to do that, and it's going to land in your computer. Photos don't go from back and forth from cloud to phone, from phone to Mac, phone to Mac. They go through the cloud. So this is the connection that you need to enable back and forth. If instead you go, no, I don't want my photos on the cloud at all, then this will be turned off and your photos will live just in your phone and your Mac will have it turned off and your phone connected to the cloud. And then to connect from here to here, you need to manually put a little cable connected to your computer and say, please bring these over. You need to press some buttons, look at the photos you want, bring them over, and then you can bypass the cloud because you don't want to, the only reason to do that would be if you don't want to have your photos in the cloud, don't want to pay anything every month. So then you do this, and then your photos that are full size on your phone, they will say full size, okay, because you don't have the choice of putting it somewhere else. Your full size photos and videos, which are filling up your phone, will then flip over to your computer and they'll be full size on your computer. So this system takes up phone space and cloud space. The only advantage, and it's a big one, the only advantage of this process is that if you then delete a photo from here, it deletes forever, but it doesn't delete from here. So this is what we did in the old times. Like for years, our phones were tiny. We would transfer the photos to our computer, and then you could empty out your phone. So your photos were safe in your computer. Your phone was empty now, and you kept going. And every now and then you would transfer, leave them there and not here. For better or for worse, that means that during the whole time that you didn't transfer, your photos were only in one place. If this or this died, they would die. Now, if you continue to do this now, do it often because phones die. And if you left 3 weeks go by or 2 months go by, or your whole trip before you came home to transfer, like if you took photos of a whole trip, but your phone dies, they're still in your phone. That's it. They never made it to your computer. You came home, you transferred them. Good. Now they're safe. You delete them here to make space. But now what if your computer dies? So if you have them in this system, you must back this computer up to something else to make sure that if this dies, your photos are somewhere because they're not here anymore. Does that make sense what I'm saying? It's like, you got to back them up somewhere. If you have them to the cloud is your backup. If you have them on your computer only, then you must back up your computer on itself also to another cloud account that you can pay in another service, but you'll still have to pay for that service too. I have a service that I pay $60 or $70 a year for that backs up my entire Mac plus any hard drive I have connected to it, right? So like Harry had his photos on hard drives connected, and he had all those connecting and backing up to a Backblaze, then even if his hard drives died, they'd still be up there on a different service and a different company. But one or the other, you have to pay. If you don't pay, you pay for a big old hard drive to put your photos in, and then you're at the mercy of the hard drives, which are mechanical things to someday die. Your choice, I guess, one choice better than another. I do this for my professional photos. I have a ton of really big raw photos, big camera. I put them from my little camera straight into my computer, but then I back them up, right? And then every photo I take with my phone on the cloud, it comes to my computer. I have both systems set up for different needs. For my DSLR, for my big camera, I take it straight to my Mac. For my phone, I sent it out through the cloud. Okay, so neither one is good or worse. It's just different ways for your needs. All right. But if it sits on only one device, your phone dies, you've lost your photos. Your computer dies, you've lost your photos. So either way, through the cloud or through another service that you still have to pay, you should back them up to the cloud, because backing them up just to a little time machine or a hard drive depends on that working. If you have a time machine, and this is extra, I actually have two time machines, so that if one dies, my other is still working. So that's the way I protect my stuff. And I put it in the cloud. So those are my three. So you can be exaggerated, and I don't care about other files, but I don't want to lose my photos. So I have three options. I have 2 time machines and another server system that I have that backs up all my devices. So that's my protection, because I don't want one day to wake up and not have the photos of my kids running around when they were 5. I'm sorry, some people care, don't care. I certainly care. I'm a photo hoarder. Okay, I'm a photographer. That's my profession originally. I'm a photo hoarder. Okay, so I need to do this to protect myself. All right. Now, if this whole system is understood, let me say the last negative is that if you don't have the cloud turned on, then your full-size versions are on your phone, your full-size versions are on your computer. Thus, your phone gets full very quickly and your computer can get full. If you pay for space on the cloud, then you have to pay for space there. So that's what gets full. And these two can be light and empty. Or what I do, I actually have a big hard drive. So I don't turn on optimize on my computer. I want the big photos on my computer so I can work with them in Photoshop and stuff. I just have the optimized photos on my phone so that my phone can keep getting photos without filling up. Those go to the cloud, the big ones are there. And on my phone, my computer, I do have the big ones come down. That way, when I work on them at another level, I don't have to be individually downloading them. Okay, so that's my choice. As you see, they're all choices that you can make. And for those of you who were saying, no, I want to first clean up my computer, my phone's getting full and all that kind of stuff. The other advantage of having things on the cloud, although you have to pay for it, is that your devices become much lighter because the big stuff is kept in the cloud. Okay, questions about this? I'm seeing that Irma, you raised your hand. Rosa and Mary had him before because you were changing your systems, but Irma is actually a question, right?
Yes, this may not be the appropriate time to mention it, but it just seems to, you mentioned before that your settings on your Mac should match what's on your phone. I've been having a strange thing happen with my mail, and I noticed that my mail is backing up on my
All right, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. I am dealing with that in the Mac class. And in fact, I'm about to teach mail this week.
Okay.
I cannot even begin to broach the mail conversation today
Okay.
because that'll take an entire day or two. So are you taking my Mac classes? Are
Yes.
you taking my Mac? Okay, so ask me again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's got enough. So I cannot even venture to work on this right now. By the way, as we're speaking, I'm putting this photo that I just shared you with the cloud. I'm actually moving. I'm putting it in the handouts for the iLife. Okay, so that now if you go to your handouts, this that I just showed you is there, just to help you remember. Okay. Yeah. Just to make sure, Mary and Rosa, your hands are still up just because I had told you to raise your hand for the setting, right? But it's not a question, in which case, Molly?
Yes, I have, on my desktop, I don't have photos checked, but I have photos checked on my iPhone. So in order for it to be syncing.
Wait. On your iCloud, you don't have, where? Say that again, where?
iPhone, I have
photos checked.
Yeah, but not on photos. Oh, I'm sorry. On photos, I don't have it checked.
On your computer?
Yes.
Well, you told me the photo arrived, so it must be. Do you want to share your system preference so that I can look and see what's happening?
Okay, let's see.
Because you said your photo did arrive, so it must be checked.
It did.
Okay. So, yeah.
And also keychain is not clicked on that either.
That's a separate issue. The keychain is
that's a different issue.
Meaning the keychain is passwords and stuff. But if you want your computer and your phone to share the same passwords, you can turn it on. But anyway, but you're right, your photos are not
it's not clicked.
And yet this is interesting, but you said that the photo that you just took did
Here it is.
arrive? You just took this
Yeah.
one and it arrived in your computer?
Mhm.
I am flummoxed.
Yeah,
That
it
shouldn't
wasn't
That
too-
shouldn't be
Well-
happening. Hold on, there's one more place where, okay, let me just think this through. Go up, there's one more place where you can have these settings turned on. I have no idea how they wouldn't be on both, but let me tell you to go there. Go up to the Apple icon that you have, click on your photos first, click on your photos app so that turns on. Move your mouse to where you see your photos and just, yeah. No, not there. Not there. Leave this area. Move away. Click somewhere else.
Any place, you mean?
Yeah, I don't want. This is not where I want you. Go down to that window. Say cancel. This is not where I need you on. Say cancel.
Oh, okay.
Say cancel. Okay, now go and click on the last photo that you took that just appeared there
Okay.
on the. Yeah, that one. Okay, click on that. Okay, now head over to the top left of your entire screen where you see the Apple icon, way over the Apple logo, way over top left of your entire, yeah, there. Good. Now go to the word photos. There, go to the word photos.
Photos, okay.
Yes, and now go to click preferences. Preferences, yeah, that's the Photos app preferences. And let me see, go to the second choice, general, go to the choice that says cloud. You can't make that any bigger. You can't make that any bigger.
Okay.
So go up to the top where it says general.
General.
On the right side, cloud.
The
Right,
right-
the one on the right, next to it, to the right says iCloud.
I didn't hear what you said after general.
Right, to the right, it says iCloud, the little cloud icon. Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
this
Mhm.
one. Oh,
This
yes.
is your photos cloud.
Yes.
And again, you don't have it turned on.
Mhm.
How in the world did that photo get to your computer? It's like magic. That is bizarre. It shouldn't have arrived in your computer.
Unless you send it.
Unless you connected your phone to your computer. Do you have a cable connecting your phone to your computer perchance? No.
No, not that I know of. No.
You don't have my photo stream turned on. You don't have iCloud photos, because I was going to say there's a third option, which is my photo stream that I haven't even talked about yet, where things don't go through the cloud, but they go straight to your computer, but you don't even have that, my photo stream turned on. I have no idea. This shouldn't be possible. So I am. And this is the photo you just took. If you click on it, the details, this is the one you just took.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have this. I don't know the answer to this. The whole point here is it seems like you have it disconnected. All these photos are the ones that you have in your phone.
Yeah, it's synced. It's synced. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Well,
I couldn't get in
no.
touch with the care.
You are the one who said it took a while to get there. So clearly it's getting there somehow, but I don't know how. Because your settings are saying don't connect me to the cloud. So I'm for the photos app.
Yeah.
Unless you're sending them through the iCloud drive, which is a possibility. I don't know what to answer.
Okay.
Are you paying? Go to your. So you are paying iCloud storage. You have 50 gigabytes. So you're paying $2.99 a month. I can see down
No,
there.
I'm paying $1, 99.
50 gigabytes is $1. Okay.
Yeah,
You're
I
paying
don't even
$1
know
a month.
if I really need it because
Well,
I've been paying for a couple
and you
years.
see there that it says that you have 40 gigabytes available. So you're using 10 gigabytes. Yes, you need it because remember, for free, you only get 5 gigabytes. And if you look at your iCloud storage, it says there that you have 50 gigabytes you're paying for, and you only have 40 left, which is a lot left, but that means you're using 10 gigabytes, which is 5 more than what you get for free. So yes, you need to be paying $1 a month. Does that make sense, you guys, what I'm saying to her?
Yeah, another question.
Wait, Molly, let me clear. This is when you share, I need everyone to learn from this. So let me have everyone learn from this. Can you point to your cloud storage for a minute? Go point to on your screen, on your system preferences, go point to that down to in the system, to the area that says cloud storage with the green bar, yellow, that right there. Go down a bit more. I'm just trying to show you guys to see it, to find, wait, no, don't bother with manage. No. Just stay done. Just point to that bar that has the yellow, just down there, just put your mouse, yeah, stop right there. move your head, that little bubble is taking away what I want. So move it a tad down so I don't see that bubble. Move it a tad down, yeah. It says iCloud storage. I don't know if you can read, it's very tiny, but I'm reading it to you. It says iCloud storage, 50 gigabytes. She's paying $1 a month. And then it says 40 gigabytes are available. It says it right there. You might not be able to read it. That's what it's saying.
I see it.
So that means that she has 40 gigabytes of space left that she's not using. And she said, I don't know then if I need to pay $1 a month. And I'm saying yes, because 50 minus 40 is 10. And Apple only gives you 5 for free. So if you want, if she has 10 gigabytes in the cloud, that means that her $1 a month is taking care of the other 5 gigabytes. Does that make sense, you guys?
How do they replenish it though? Do they keep?
They're taking it from your card. You sign up with your credit card, and every month they're going
No,
in
I
and
know, but as far as the gigabytes, how do they replenish it? Do they give you another 50 gigabytes extra? Does it accumulate? Or
no, right now you've got to it's like you go to imagine that you're buying you have your stuff in a mini storage. It's only 4 by 5 and you pay, I don't know, $1 a month. And then one day you need more, then you start paying more, and then your stuff can fit into a one that's, 8 by 10. So if you need more space and you pay more money, suddenly instead of 50 gigabytes, you're going to see 200 gigabytes there. And that's all. You'll just pay more money and you'll have more space. That's all it is. There's no shifting, or it just, you pay more, you get more space. You pay. And now if you're using 200 gigabytes and you start paying only, instead of 3 a month, you start paying $1, there's going to be no space for your stuff. And that's going to be a conflict, right? So you can't go down. If right now you said, oh, I'm going to stop paying right now. If you say, I don't want to pay $1 a month. If you were to go and say, revert to free, there'd be 5 gigabytes of things that would have nowhere to go. And it would warn you, you can't do that or you will lose this stuff. Does that make sense, you guys? Once it's on the cloud, you would have to download everything from the cloud, have it fill your computer. Then you can stop paying, but then the stuff won't be lost. Okay. So that's okay. Thanks. I just wanted to, now you had another question that I said, wait, because I wanted to show the cloud. Mhm.
Yeah, that was it. That was
Oh.
the question about the storage, whether or not,
Okay, now I'm going to take a screenshot of this because, and it's hard to see, by the way, but I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I have no idea how the photo appeared on your computer. This shouldn't be possible. I'm going to have to research it. There's no idea. This is the first time I've seen it, that a photo did appear on your computer if the iCloud sync isn't turned on and if you didn't connect it with a cable. So I'm completely flummoxed. So I'll have to look into it. All right, I've stopped my share. I'm looking that I have, thanks, Diana, I have the setup as you indicated. I need to pay to increase the cloud storage so they can sync. Now I understood, so I'm all set, good. And Mary, and then Leon asked a good question. Leon said, why do you use a non-Apple iCloud, a non-Apple cloud? When I gave the example, when I shared my example, I'm going to share it again. Let me share it again so that you guys know what I'm talking about or what his question is. Let me share this. Remember that I said I have another backup here. I pointed where I saved stuff. And so his question, a very good question, is why do you use something that's not iCloud? Like, hold on, I do use iCloud. But iCloud, if you take my Mac classes, you would learn only saves the stuff that's on the cloud. And I use the iCloud for my photos, but I have so many documents. I don't want to fill up my iCloud with my documents. So I don't have my documents on the cloud on my real computer. My documents would take up so much space that I wouldn't have space for photos and videos and iCloud and all that. So plus I have other applications. I have Lightroom, I have Photoshop, I have a bunch of other stuff. Those are not part of the cloud. So remember, the cloud is a good backup for anything that's in your phone computer, that's in the cloud, basically anything that's on your phone and anything on your computer that's in your cloud. And let me show you. And this is, again, it's a conversation for the Mac class, Leon, which you're in there again, so I'll talk to you about, but there's a lot of stuff on my computer that's not part of the Apple iCloud. I have apps galore. I have a ton of other stuff on my computer. InDesign, photos, videos, stuff like professional video editing has nothing to do with the Apple Cloud. I still have to save all that stuff somewhere. So that stuff gets saved in my time machine on the one hand, and it also gets saved in another system, which also encompasses whatever's on my computer. But if it saves what's on my computer has only small versions of photos, right? Because of the cloud. So basically I use both, but that's probably not the situation for a lot of you guys. So I just wanted to clarify that question is a good one. It's not either or, it's just both.
Thank you.
I probably have a ton more stuff on my computer than any of you guys have or need or will. Okay, I work on my computer. I have projects, design projects. I'm a graphic designer. I have projects and photos and images from a ton of other people. I'm not going to spend my own cloud space to do that. What I do is I have my computer on another hard drive and I spend that and I use the Backblaze for that. Okay. I just want to honor that we only have 5 minutes left. So I want to make sure that if there's a real question, I'll answer the questions. I want to make sure that anyone who is unclear about this setup, please make sure to ask them right now. Otherwise, next week, hopefully, I'm going to start working on organizing those photos, handling them, finding them, keywording them, albuming, like actually editing them. That's what we're going to do. But right, I want to make sure that everyone today is clear where their photos are, if they want them or not. The only thing I didn't share with you yet, one last thing that I want to do before it's time to leave, because when it's time to leave, some people actually leave and then they won't hear this. When it's, I just wanted to say that if your computer dies, computers die. If your hard drives die, they die. We just heard Harry mention that. If your phone dies, they die. Whenever any of these devices die, you can still see your photos up on the cloud. You just need to go on any browser to iCloud.com, put in your Apple ID, and your photos are in the cloud. Now, it's not only if they die, but what if you are traveling, you went to Hawaii and you didn't bring your computer, you're on vacation. You just brought your phone and you lose your phone, right? Yeah. So the photos might have made it to your computer, but you don't have them here. Then it's, as long as you at some point were in the hotel room or something with Wi-Fi, they moved up to the cloud. But say that day you were on a whale watching trip or whatever you do in Hawaii. The photos you took that day, your phone landed overboard, they didn't make it to the cloud. The photos that were in your phone, you've lost them for that day. But as long as that night before you at the hotel, the photos had gone to the cloud, you still have the photos from yesterday and from ever. Does that make sense, you guys? Mm-hmm. But the photos of that day may be gone because they never made it to the cloud. On the other hand, if you lose all your devices and you need to buy another, and this is Mary Elfling had to leave, but is what she said. She bought a new phone. And next thing you know, when she walked out, all the photos that were in her old phone were already in her new phone. It's like, whoa, how did that happen? Right? Because she just bought the phone. How come it already has her photos? Because when she bought the phone, the store said, what's your Apple ID? They connected her to her Apple ID. And what happens then is that your phone, once you're connected to your Apple ID, it knows this is your stuff. It downloaded onto her phone. So next thing you know, you buy a phone, and a new phone, you put your Apple ID on it, and it might take a little bit of time, but an hour later, 2 hours later, you look at your phone and all your stuff is on your phone again because it was on the cloud. Okay, so that's how that process works. That's why she said, oh, I bought a new phone and everything was on my phone. So when I bought a new computer, I didn't want the stuff there, she said. So right now, she's gone here, so I can't. So right now, the stuff has not flowed down to her computer. That's because she disconnected this portion, which is why I have no idea, Molly, with yours disconnected, how your stuff is there. I need to figure that one out. But okay, but she was like, how come the photos were on my phone? It's because your Apple ID and the sliders were turned on and everything that went from the cloud went in here. You guys try it out. I do this in my Mac class. I'm not going to do it here, but try it out. Go to iCloud.com. At some point, not now, during class, go to iCloud.com. And when you get there, you'll see that it'll say, oh, put in your Apple ID and password. And as long as you know your Apple ID and password, you'll get in and you'll see that there's a little icon there that says photos. And when you open it up, there's your photos. And any organization, we're going to do albums, choices, decisions, deletions, additions. It's all going to be up there. It's going to be on your phone and it's going to be on your computer. It's everywhere. Okay. So if you lose all your devices for one of those horrible, big catastrophic kind of things happens to you, as long as they were still on the cloud, you won't lose your photos. Now, if my computer dies, all my iCloud stuff is in the cloud. My other stuff that's not part of the iCloud, going again to Leon's question, I'll find that stuff on my other backup because I have a lot of stuff on my computer that's not part of the iCloud. All right. Next person with their hand up. Again, Rosa, at this point, I think this is just your hand from before, right? I can lower it? Okay.
Yeah.
Molly already asked her question, so I'm going to lower Molly's hand. Next is Sarah. Yeah. Oh, hold on. It's 12:25. This is the official end of class. If you want to leave, and I'm only answering questions now, I'm not going to teach anything new. So if you need to leave because it's time to leave, please go ahead and leave. Meanwhile, I will stay and answer some questions. Okay.
Okay.
So if for those of you who need to leave, see you next week.
Great.
All right. Sarah?
Yeah, two things. Can you do a backup in the cloud with data rather than Wi-Fi? If you've got a 5G and you're in range?
Yeah, as long as you allow your phone, you need to tell your phone that it's allowed to use your data, because by default it won't, because most people don't want their data used that way. But as long as you have infinite data and a good connection, it can also back up through data, but you need to enable that. It's
Okay,
not,
and
it's
that
not
will
the
be in
default
your
setting.
Okay, and that will be in your other class, or not?
Actually, I don't think anyone's really asked that question, so no. But basically, where do you enable it? I think you go into the backup settings in your system preferences. You go to backups, and I don't know where it is right now, and
Yeah.
it'll say use data or not, and you can say yes, use data. So no, this is the time I'm saying it. I won't go.
And
So
what is a time machine?
take my Mac class. It's a backup of all your Mac computer.
Okay, that'll
but
be over in the Mac class.
in the Mac class. Mhm.
Okay, I just needed to.
Yeah,
to know that.
I'm working on it in the class I'm teaching right now, which is Mac level 2. I'll be teaching. I spoke about it a lot last week, but I'll be doing the final class on Time Machine in a few weeks. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right, Thomas, your hand is up.
You've made me nervous today about my photo backup. I do not have my photos on the iCloud because I think I've got so many of them that they wouldn't fit. I have Time Machine backup, and I have my photos on a separate hard drive.
So the separate hard drive, is it being backed up by anything?
Yes, by the Time Machine.
No, the separate hard drive, I mean, because the Time Machine saves the computer, but it doesn't save a separate hard drive.
But you can check that it saved the separate hard drive too, and I've done
Oh,
it.
okay. So yeah, because by default it doesn't, right? So I just wanted to make sure.
But now
All
you're
right.
saying that's not enough, and
Well,
yet
here's the thing. Harry's example, he had his photos on another hard drive, but he didn't have them backed up with anything else. You're telling me that your Time
okay.
Machine is setting up. He didn't. He just had them on another hard drive. When those hard drive dies, they were on their own. A lot of people think because they have a Time Machine, it's enough because it saves your computer. But unless they checked it, what you just confirmed you do, then the hard drives don't get connected. As long as you saved both, like you, now you have your stuff in 2 places. 99% of the time, 2 places should be enough, except for the good old earthquake or mudslide or other kind of disaster. You know, suddenly there's electric lightning hits your house and all your electric devices
except for
get
living
fried.
in California.
you know, your devices get fried by an electric lightning hit, which we don't have many of in Santa Barbara, but like there's other reasons. Someone goes into your house and robs your house. Like that's all. That's the only issue, is that there's nothing. In the past, when the cloud didn't exist,
Right.
people would say, have another hard drive in another location. So like I used to go to my mother-in-law's who lived, 2 hours away. And every time we went 3-4 times a year, I would take a hard drive with everything I owned to her house, I'd bring back the one I'd left the last trip, and that was my other location, right? Because the chances of both her house and my house disappearing was thoroughly unreasonable. So at work, people have everything at work, and they would have, like, maybe they would take another device home. And then now that the cloud exists, that third place is easier to replace by having it on the cloud instead of having to literally have another location. But that's if you're really, really paranoid about losing everything. The chances that you lose both your time machine that is backing up your hard drive and your computer is probably pretty low. But again, if you have a big virus, it might affect both. I don't know, I'm just saying.
And just to be sure about iCloud, I'm looking under the Apple under storage, and I see that my photo archive on the separate hard drive is about 2.5 terabytes. So that's too much for iCloud, right?
2.5 terabytes. I think that 1099 is 2 terabytes. So yeah, it's probably too much. Yeah.
So that wouldn't work even if I wanted to.
Which is why I don't put my professional raw photos on the cloud, because those are the ones that take up a lot of space. But my personal photos that I take with my phone, yeah, those I do put on the cloud, because the huge amounts of terabytes is my videos or my raw photos, right? Other than that, I don't have 2 terabytes of just personal photos. So I guess it divides between one and the other.
Well, so I'm downloading everything via the cloud from my phone to my computer, often with a cable, because there are videos among them.
Yeah.
And deleting them.
Yes, by the way, thank you. The iCloud works for videos, but not, do you have the photo stream turned on is what you have?
Yeah.
Photo stream does not transfer videos. So that when you said that triggers, I haven't talked about photo stream yet. The plan D to not turn on the cloud is to use the photo stream. Then you don't have to connect with the cable, but it doesn't transfer videos, just for those of you who are still listening. Okay, yes, Thomas.
So I download via cable everything to my computer.
Yeah.
Which is on a separate hard drive. The photo archives are with the box checked, backed up by the time machine. So I should be more or less okay. And I cannot upload all my 2.5 terabytes of photos to iCloud, even if I wanted to.
I don't know if you ask Apple if they have anything bigger. I'm assuming that for companies, there's a bigger number, but the biggest one that they show automatically is 2 terabytes for $999 a month. I would say that total of $990 a month, that's like in the end times 12, that's more money than what I pay for Backblaze, which I do recommend you get then, which for $70 a year, which is much less than $10 a month, well, half, that for $70 a year, it backs up all my computers and all my hard drives, however many hard drives I connect. So I would recommend
that would be if I want the third backup.
If you want,
But are you suggesting there's a distinction somehow between your professional and personal stuff, that I could have some things protected on the iCloud, but not everything?
Yeah, I personally only have the photos that I take with my phone on the iCloud, and I don't take my professional photos with my phone.
I see. Okay.
So I let the stuff that's on my phone go to the iCloud, and all the other photos that I take on my other cameras, I download directly into my computer. I do not put them on my Photos app. I just put them on my hard drive, and then those I don't put through the cloud. So that's
I'm using only my phone, so that wouldn't be an option for me.
Yeah, no. That means that you're probably taking, that's a ton of video, right? Because to have 2.5 terabytes, you said it yourself, you have a lot of videos, right?
Yeah, right.
Long videos and video, yeah.
So I take a chance where I am. It sounds like is the answer for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you need to get is the Backblaze, basically, or there's other companies, but you're in my Mac class right now or not?
No.
Okay, because at the end of the Mac class, the last day, I talk about those backups, and I talk about Backblaze. So if you want to just join us that one day, let me know and I'll send you a link that day.
I would like to do that, yes.
one class. Okay.
I would.
And you
Thank you.
understand file management because of what you're doing already, so you don't need to take
Well,
the whole fun. Well, but if you have questions about that, then, or you can just sign into the class, that's true too. And then join us when we talk about backups. I spent last class talking about backups, and the last class, which is coming up in 3 weeks or whatever, will be also about backups. All right.
I Googled backplace and it's not showing up. How do you spell backplace?
Not backplace, back blaze, like a blaze of a
Blaze.
light, a fire, back
Thank
blaze.
you. Thank you.
Send me an email. I can send you an invite to join it. And then
Okay.
both of us get 1 month free.
Ha,
All right.
I'll do it.
Yeah, Rosa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your question, Rosa?
Yes, yeah. Probably my question is related to this class, but more advanced. My problem is, I told you before, I have all my pictures, my photo organized in folder. I have 4 different external drive. Then I know I get to my children who live in different states. Then I don't have that problem. I don't want to use the iCloud for my last picture in the past because it's a ton of videos, a ton of pictures. And my problem is I can share with my husband or one of my children who don't have Mac. They have a PC, and they can open some photos of videos that we did it. And I don't know how to investigate that. I don't know if you can help me to how for me, it's not a problem to find information to Google, but I don't know what keyword I can put, how I can.
So, but here's the thing. When your stuff is on your computer, not on your Photos app, right? And it's just on your computer, which is what you're saying, in folders.
I have in an external drive all my picture. It's not in my computer.
So if it's not in your, but I'm saying if it's not in the Photos app and it's just files in an external drive, all you can do is copy them to another external drive, give them the external copy and have them open it in their computer. Like there's no way to share. I think there's a way, very complicated way to share an album through your computer to someone else in the same network, but it wouldn't even be worth it. All you need to do is a copy of them and give it to them.
No, that's what I did. I did a copy for one of my children. I gave to them, but they can open in an external drive. They can open, and I don't know.
That's probably because your drive was formatted for Mac, and you need to instead have a drive that's formatted both for Mac and PC.
Maybe
that you put your stuff on that, and then when they put it in their computer, they'll be able to see it. But if you give it to them on a hard drive formatted only for Mac, the PC can't read it. So you need to reformat the hard drive to be available to be read by both. Then you can put stuff on there and then they can read it.
Thank you very much. I'm going to.
Or you can use a service like Dropbox, like something like that you can pay for, and you put stuff in the Dropbox, which is how professionally we share photos a lot. You make an account with Dropbox and you transfer and you upload into that, and you send the link to that Dropbox to your family, and then they download it from there. That's
one
another
more
way.
question. If I organize my my photos instead of use photo, I use Google Photos. They can open for
Google Photos Google Photos used to be free for photos, but it's not anymore. So if you're going to pay for Google Photos or Dropbox, Dropbox. Okay, let me be clear. If you put things up in Google Photos, before it was, you could put as many photos you wanted as for free. That's a few years ago. At some point, I guess they decided that wasn't working because people were putting too much stuff. So now you have to pay. I don't know exactly how much, but it's kind of equivalent to the iCloud. I don't know right now off the top of my head how much it is. So if you do that, the other thing I heard about Google Photos, and that might have changed now that people pay, before you only when you put things in the Google Photos, they only saved the small versions, opposite to the cloud. They made the small versions. So then if you deleted them from your computer, you ended up with only small versions of your photos. So that's why I've never chose to use Google Photos. Now that you have to pay for Google Photos, I don't know if maybe they take the big versions. I don't know. But I know 100% for sure that something like Dropbox takes you just put the stuff you want up there and then you send that link to another person and they access the same folder and everyone has the same stuff. It's good for if you have, it's a copy of your stuff, but if someone else has access to it and they delete it, it deletes for you too, right? So it's not a good place for your stuff to live in, but it's a good place for your stuff to get transferred to someone else. And that's professionally what we do to transfer big files from place to place. We use things similar or Dropbox or things similar to Dropbox, because then everyone can access the files full size versus Google Photos. Find out. I don't know right now. Now that they charge, maybe they let you put the full size stuff in Google Photos, but I don't know the answer. I should probably look it up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Irma.
You're welcome. All right. Is that the end of the questions, you guys? And we've only left a couple people. So if so, then I'll sign out. Tons of stuff to do today. So I will, Rosa, can you send me a quick email to look into the Google Photos thing? Because I don't know now if you pay. I'd like to know. I'd like to remember to check. I'll look it up to see if maybe things are now full size in Google Photos now that you're paying for it. I don't know. Okay. All right. Thank you guys.
Yeah, no.
Yes, Leon.
This is just me, you thing. So have you, I've taken intro, I've taken OS 1, I took OS 2. Have you considered doing a Photos 1 and a Photos 2? I mean, I've taken Photos 4 times, but when I take it the 4th or 5th time, and there are people who've never taken it before, it's like a totally, so I'm not being critical. Ti amo.
This is the class that it is. It is the beginning class. Yeah. No, I have considered it, Leon, but it needs to fill up. And if it doesn't fill up, I can't teach it, right? So it's not a bad idea, but if I teach a class called Photos 2, will people come? If they come, I will teach it. I haven't designed it. When you design a course, it takes like a year to get through the whole system. I have thought of many classes to teach, but I never thought of Photos 2. So send me an email, remind me. And when I'm thinking about what classes to create, I could think about it. Maybe if I come up with a different version or option of it, but otherwise, yeah, I'll keep teaching. I say it in different things. Sometimes it's more and less useful, but yeah, you get to a point where you got what you got and there's not much more. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, okay. So, I mean, at my age, I forget a lot.
Yeah.
But, and again, this is, I'm a teacher, so I call it flow. And so, I think you're the best, but you have no control over your population.
Yeah.
And so it seems like there's a lot of housekeeping. I mean, how about considering prereq? Like, okay, you can't take photos until you've taken intro, OS 1, and maybe OS 2, because it just seems like there's the first almost half hour to an hour is.
Well, that was today because one of the new students hadn't watched the videos. And since it's only the second class, I was like, okay with it. But for the most part, my request has been watch the freaking videos so that you're caught up, right? So next time if we meet and someone doesn't know, I'll just go, hey, go catch up. And then, but since it's the second time and she wasn't here, how would she have heard to watch the videos, right? So the second meeting, I'm still kind of open to that, because then you didn't know, even though I sent an email saying, watch this video, not everyone focuses on that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the only negative of all these beginning classes, that I have to teach. It's a beginning class. And if someone is here and they are higher level and no one is beginning, I start at a higher level. But when there's beginning people, I have to start at beginning level. So I give tidbits and questions like that are higher level to people who ask me. But other than that, unless I teach a class that says already at the beginning that it's a higher level, that's the way it got to be taught. So yeah.
Well, that's why I'm going back to the prereq again. I mean,
yeah, I can't do a prereq for I can't do a prereq for non-credit. There's no way to filter it. We can't prereq another class. We can request it. That doesn't mean they won't sign up. If they didn't read the tiny little words that say there's a prereq and they self-filtered themselves if they want. And our classes are hard enough to run at this point. It would be very hard pressed to get the the system to decide to put prereqs on Mac because it's kind of self-filters. If you come to one of my, accounting level 3 classes and you know nothing, it'll self-filter the teacher. You'll know it's not good enough. They're just going to go and take the level 1. But if the class is described as a beginning class and someone knows nothing, I have to teach at the beginning level, right? So anyway, it's a kind of a self-filtering kind of thing. And I can't say, hey, you don't know enough, you can't take the class, because it is a beginning class, right?
Right.
So yeah, unless I create a class that says, this is level 2, you need to take it only after another. Guess what? In the class description, you only have like 20 words that you can describe the class. Can you imagine if the whole time, if the class is describing, you can't take this unless you take this other one, I would basically have 4 people sign up, 5 people sign up, and then the class wouldn't run. So there's restrictions. Unfortunately, I would love it to be a class that only the people who know what they're doing would take. I just would not know how to make that actually be a class that has enough students for it to run. So I'm kind of
Well, I will send you
hand-tied.
a request. I mean, you don't know until you try. I mean, if not
Yeah.
enough people show, then well, I'm never going to offer that again. But
I would, but guess what?
What?
I get paid by classes that run and I have to pay my rent. And if a class doesn't run, I don't get money. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, shucks, so that's bad. But guess what? That month I don't get paid for that class. So it's not so easy to just try something new when you
Okay.
depend upon the income. I don't get paid for a class that doesn't run. I don't get paid just because I offer it, right? So
Okay.
you can do that once or twice, but I can't, unless I have a pretty good idea that it's gonna run. It's a hard choice.
Maybe the last day, take a poll. If
Yeah,
for an upper level, how many people raise your hand?
yeah, I could do that. I could do that. But then creating a new class and putting it through the system is a ton of work.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it's meetings, it's write-ups, it's meeting with 2 different things. It has to go to the state, it has to come back. It's not
Yeah.
like I can just offer it. What I could do, and this is true, is I could offer it in the paid system. Like I could offer, and it has to be part of a certificate anyway. But I could offer it through the city college fee-based classes. And if people are willing to pay for it, then it can be offered. But if people aren't willing to pay for it, if they want it for free, it has to be part of a approved certificate that's gone through the whole state chancellor or whatever system. So it's not like,
yeah,
oh, I'll just add another class.
thank you.
If people are willing to pay, which some people are, people here say, hey, I would love to know that. It is possible for me to offer some more advanced things through the fee-based classes, which in the past I couldn't do because they were the same amount of hours I could teach. Maybe now I can teach more hours if it's for the fee-based system. I could probably do that. It's a good thought. I'll try to reach out to the fee-based people and see if that's a choice.
I do
And
feedback.
then-
I have to get a scholarship. I mean, I never got a pension.
Mhm.
I taught in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Colorado, and California. Never long enough. I have zero
Yeah.
pension at 75 years old.
Yeah, it's
My
horrible.
Social Security is $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I know.
I always have to go for a scholarship to pay, but I will go for a scholarship and I will take a fee base. And now I've got one more question and I'll let you go. I know you're Miss Laissez-faire and that's your style, but why? Just why wouldn't you just suggest to your people the benefits of upgrading OSs? The safety, the security, the getting timed out. If you wait too long, you're not going to be able to update. I know that even might have happened to you last year, because another part of the flow is that you're going, okay, if you got an iPad, you go it this way. And if you've got Ventura, you do it this way. And if you've got Monterey, you do it this way. And that
Because upgrading operating system might not be possible if your computer is older. And I can't say you can only take this class if you have money enough to buy a new computer. right?
No, I'm not suggesting. I'm just saying it doesn't cost anything to upgrade your OS if you
No,
don't get-
but if your computer can't upgrade,
I understand.
which I will still have to teach both, right?
Yeah.
So then what's the point? There's computers, people who have a 2012 computer want to learn how to handle it. People who have a 2015 computer learn how to handle it. Now, in the past, where people had to come to my school to learn, they would learn whatever was there. But now that we're teaching with people's own computers, I have to teach to what people have. And if they can't upgrade, because the option to upgrade is buying a new computer, or if they have an older computer that could upgrade, but it'll get really slow if it upgrades, then I'm like, stay where you are until you buy a new computer. It's the most, I can't tell everyone, hey, you're supposed to have enough money to upgrade. A lot of people want to work with what they have, in which case I only support the last few operating systems. It's not like I can keep going and supporting stuff that's really old, because at that point, those computers, they know that it's not working. Like now and then I have a High Sierra question, I still answer it. But at this point, I'm assuming everyone has Catalina through Monterey, which works the same, or Ventura. And so I'm teaching Catalina Monterey, which is one, that pacing version, or Ventura. A few years ago, Ventura didn't exist a year ago. So I was fine teaching only one thing. And then it's happened before when things shifted from Sahara to Catalina. For a while, I needed two systems. I'd say in a couple of years, I'll be teaching only Ventura. But the years that I've got half the people on one and half the people on another, I just got to adapt to that's what people have, that's right now. Some people have one or the other and they look so different. I need to teach both.
Yeah, and I never took an in-class with any of you. I've only been Zooming, so I don't even know the pre-COVID world. When everybody was in the room on using your, whatever.
There was a negative to that, because people would learn what the computer system was at school, and then they'd go home and their computer would be so different that
total.
How did they adapt, right? So in a way, this is better, but it does take more explaining. Neon, I gotta go. And good points. But yeah, I have to adapt to who's in class, and sometimes that means that it takes a bit longer.
I'm not suggesting you force or forbid. I was just maybe in your OS 1 or 2, maybe have a little tutorial, like, okay, these are the benefits if you do update. I will show you how to do that if you would like to do that.
I do. That's exactly what I do. But I do that.
Okay.
I always tell them that this is how you upgrade. And if your computer can handle it and you're good, then I certainly recommend them upgrading. But then there's always some people who can't upgrade, and then I still have to teach both. That my Mac level, my intro to the Mac, that's the first thing I talk about for the first 2 days is about upgrading your OS.
Yeah.
So some people do it, some people
and
don't.
I already forgot it.
Exactly.
All right, dear. Thank you for
All right.
staying over. I appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
for that.
Okay. Talk to you. See you in Wednesday, right? See you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Ciao. Grazie.
You're welcome.